This conference will now be recorded.
All right, calling the meeting to order at 6:04 PM. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we can skip the tree removal registration. Jeremy will speak to that when he gets here. The special event permit review. I circulated a proof of what the permit application would look like based on all of our months of discussion. And it's a 2-pager, but it's okay. And then I also did the parking for the different areas, California, Trustees, and Walnut, based on Frank's recommendations. Did everyone have a chance to look at that? Any comments?
Is there anywhere that it describes the reason to fill out a special event permit or a national permit for like a resident? You know, oh, if I'm using village property for an event, I need to fill this out. Like, can we add like a description, like if you wish to use village property for a private event,
I think we
fill
could.
this form out,
I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to have something on the
or even
wall.
like something on top of the form that says this form is intended for
Yeah,
this purpose. Just
Issues.
because I don't know if residents
that makes
know.
sense. And we should
the
probably put something on the wall too, for like if you need a special event, a cheat sheet.
Okay.
And something for like mass assembly. I think mass assembly we should revisit because it was done off of the special event permit, and Joe you're revising the mass assembly law to incorporate the special event rules, correct? I mean, I went through it, and it looks, if you want to present that.
Yeah, so what we did, well, the way we were doing this is we kind of backed into it, the way we were, going through it, with the process that we had. So we were trying to modify our existing chapter 41, which had to do with mass assembly permits, and then have it sort of hybrid include, special event permits. And what I did was I basically redid the chapter by, dividing up those two, creating definitions for mass assemblies and also for special events, and then dividing up the regulations and the permit requirements. So basically, a mass assembly.
Hey, Judy.
A mass assembly is a gathering that's done as an expression under the Constitution. Where you're basically freedom of speech, where a group of people get together to express themselves some way. They may do a parade, they may do a gathering, they may, something like that. That would be a mass assembly. A special event is more like a celebration or, a purpose that's not, it's not an expression under your right of free speech, but like a party or a concert, barbecue, things like that. So I tried to inclusively list things that each one could possibly be. But I did borrow the ideas from other codes that I was familiar with, and I think that's the best way to do it. I don't know how you feel about it. If you want me to, if you would like me to cut it down and make it less wordy, I can also do that. But this is very similar to what I think are well-run villages would have something like this in their code. So to answer Ray's question, I think what you could do is basically paraphrase
From the law.
Yeah, paraphrase a section of the law that says, you need it and then cite the section, like whatever it is, 4.3 says mass assembly, and just take, not the whole thing, but just take like 20 words. Yeah.
I mean, I think that the only thing is, as far as this law, is to make sure that we're differentiating the way that we spoke about when we were, kind of envisioning it, was with the mass assembly. A big hinge on it was the use of roads, and it was always the use of roads. So I think that's the big divider if we're all in agreement. Yeah?
What's that?
We're talking about this local law that Joe did where he integrated the special event into the mass assembly law so that the special event permit becomes enforceable.
Okay.
Because it's not currently. I mean, it's a permit.
Yeah.
but that's right. It
Yeah, and then
becomes-
all the hard work that you did, like on the permit and the rules, that would all be, I put it at the end of the law, but, that's all incorporated by reference. You still need the rules and the.
Right, the
obviously
rules.
permit. The other part I was just gonna mention, so it's been tested in litigation and, we're not looking for litigation, but, one of the things that you can do for a board is make a reasonable, change of, location or change of date and time, that kind of thing. So, if there's something that, something else that's going on or something that might interfere with or create a safety concern, you can tell somebody that, they need to do their gathering at the north end of California Park, not the south end, or Walnut rather than,
Okay.
that kind of thing, or they need to do it at 5 o'clock rather than 2 o'clock.
Well, I think that once they bring in the permit, those are all the things that we would be individually, case by case, looking at, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing that I see is that I think that we need to, the mass assembly, since we did focus on that being road, we need to add that in the definitions or whatever it is, because I think that's a big issue. That's a big differentiator that we agreed on. So I think we need to just add that.
Oh, I thought public property was, yes,
Public property,
add that.
because the special events takes place on public property too. So I think if we can add that, and then Ray, if you want to come up with the blurbs we always said that we were going to tackle special event first and then revisit mass assembly, because we kind of just did mass assembly willy-nilly off of a special event that we weren't satisfied. Now we've narrowed it down.
Yeah.
So if you want to look at that, and then if you want to come up with the blurbs, I think it's a great idea to have something on the wall, that's differentiates so people can just read it and they can
Right.
define it themselves and apply accordingly. I think
Okay.
that would be a great idea.
Should we put it on you?
We should put it on
Yeah,
both
okay.
applications, and also just the kind of check, the cheat sheet on the wall. I think that would be
Maybe
great.
Keep it to the 2 pages, I mean, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Back
we'll
and forth,
be
and then
able-
let this tie
yeah.
it in, yeah.
We'll be able to keep it to 2 pages. All right, so with the exception of that, are we good if Joe adds in the other mass assembly, what I just spoke about with the roads? Are we good with putting a public hearing to adopt this and revise the amended? So we'll do that. Okay. I'm going to back around. Did you get anywhere with Jeremy, the tree removal registration?
Yeah, do you have the form? Is it in here?
The original one that
Yeah.
that I came up with, I
Did
can
I-
print it.
I can print copies, but I didn't include the one from like 2 meetings ago.
Do you want me to pull it up?
Yeah, I could.
I'm sorry, I meant
You want me
to
to refer to
shoot it over to you. I guess the only things can kind of vary from that permit I wanted to kind of throw out to the board and discuss was I guess if we wanted to add in a set tree size, and if we wanted to discuss proximity within offsets, kind of like we had talked about briefly. Or
You
if
know
we
what, I
just
have
want-
to-
or if
I
we
mean,
wanna
honestly, I
keep it
gotta-
as- If
I
we
don't-
want to keep it as trying to get every removal registered, or
I think if
guess
you're
what is
having
our-
I think
do we
my
wanna revisit our, like,
my feeling was that if you're having tree companies come in to remove trees,
mhm,
you should advise the village and just run through the form as a checklist. Number one, because we've had situations where we've had 2 tree removal companies on Birchwood at the same time, and then traffic can't get through.
Okay.
So we need to have just if you're going to be removing your trees and somebody else is, then, and they're both on the same road, on the same side of the road or whatever it is, the same day, they would fill it out, and then we would say, you need to pick a different day. That day's
Okay.
already taken. So I think the fact that they're having, if someone's cutting down a tree in their own backyard by themselves, I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to do that.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing is a question of, we have to come up with some kind of check and balance for stormwater so that people aren't just removing trees, clearing land that could potentially trigger a stormwater issue. That's the whole reason for this, because we've had that happen in the
So
past.
I was thinking, apologizing, I didn't get a chance to send it out yet, but I was thinking as kind of a general, instead of because we have so many varying sizes of lots. Like, what if we tied it back into our zoning and our offsets? Like, if you're removing a tree, a large tree over a certain diameter within an offset, a property offset, then it would go for review to see if it affects stormwater, because it would be within a zone of proximity to a neighboring property
You're
within
saying
those
you should go to the
offsets.
zoning board?
No, it's come to us for, or
Come to us
or the building department, or just come for review. So if it, because each zone in the village, right, has different offsets depending on the size of it. So if the tree, say I think we discussed some variations of sizes. So like a 12-inch diameter. So basically a mature specimen tree. If you're trying to remove something like that and it falls within an offset, which typically would trigger like a zoning review, right? Like for a fence or another structure, if it falls within that offset, meaning it's going to be within the proximity of an adjacent property, then it would trigger a review from the building department to see if it affects stormwater before you remove it.
Right, because I think, right, we were looking at different criteria, right? That was one of them. How many trees you were removing?
How many
lot-
trees?
Was it the
Yeah.
lot size
Lot
compared to how
size.
many you were removing, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's
and
what you're
it-
trying to-
It
yeah,
was,
but it
we had
was-
said
I feel like-
percentage of your yard.
Percentage,
Yeah,
right?
how many of the
Yeah.
percent, and I mean, just to kind of get something moving, I know we have varying sizes, so like somebody who has, almost an acre of property, right?
take
It's
down one
gonna-
tree, right?
it's a lot different than, us taking something down on Chestnut,
Right,
it's,
right,
it's a totally different animal, but there are still offsets which run consistent, and they vary by zone. So if it falls within that,
Okay,
I was
so,
thinking maybe
so
that
you're
could
thinking
trigger
the
review.
criteria should be,
A
The
diameter within an
setbacks, the
offset.
setbacks to the zone, do they do that? Is that like something that we could do, set it as far as like the different zones? Is that like a good
I think it's a
idea?
really good idea.
Yeah,
Tied
okay.
to the zones. Yeah, 'cause
Tied.
we have different, we have a number of different zones and they're all,
Each one has their own setbacks based on the size of the property. So if you're removing, I think 12-inch diameter was kind of like about the average that we saw when we looked at the other municipalities. So a tree that size or larger would trigger a building department review. I mean, 'cause if you're going to be if you're going to be submitting anyway, right, just to notify the village that you're doing a removal, right?
Right.
So you're going to be registering anyway. You just have a check. Is it a diameter 12 or greater, right? And yes, then it goes to review to the building department, and they decide, or it falls within the offsets. Just a brief
But
sketch or plan of where the tree is located that you're looking to remove,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
And then that would just go to and it would trigger a review from the building department.
I mean, ideally, this is something that will just be a registration and they just go their way. I
Yeah.
think but I do think we have to come up with a percentage. Is it?
Of lot removal as well.
Well, because if
For clearing.
if again, you're going back to the situation, you're not in the setback, you're in a very small lot, you're zoned for small, you're removing the tree in the middle of your backyard, but the tree's huge, still could have less impacts, but it still could have some level, or you don't think so?
Should we pull the offsets and circulate them so we can see like what those distances actually look like? Because there's pretty decent distance for offsets that I think it would capture a lot of
Okay,
trees.
so then let's do that.
right.
Yeah.
I
So
think
how
that's-
about that? How about I'll pull the zoning offsets for the different.
Yep, and
for
then
the
we can
different
see if we
zones.
have to do a percentage
Yeah,
at
and
all.
we'll see how those, because I think, you've got to, I think ours, Chestnut, where I think is one of the smaller, if not smallest zones. And I think the side offsets are 12 feet and the rear offset is maybe 20 or 25
So you need a minimum of 25 feet. in
total,
side
right?
yards.
25 total
One
between the two.
25,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
10,
So once
yeah.
you're in those areas,
So, so you're kind of like,
I think
we
you're right.
might take care of that
yep, I
by
think you're right.
using the offsets, the zoning, so.
Okay.
But we can look at the sizes and see.
No, I think that's good. Let's circulate the zoning. I think we could get through most of this with an email and then present an actual form to approve
put
for
together
next
like
month.
an application form,
Yeah,
whatever we're
A
gonna actually use,
registration form.
and see if anybody wants to make any changes to it, and then go from there.
That sounds good.
That's the
Yeah.
best way to do it.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Can I just?
Yeah.
So, I don't know how you want to treat, trees that are in the right of way, like you would think they're on the people's property, but they're actually on village property. I don't know if there's I just want to make a comment that you may want to treat them a certain way.
So, I mean, do we have, right now, I mean, do we have legislation that prevents people from, right, from
No,
cutting,
no,
from removing those?
No, but I mean, technically, they're going on
On
village
village
property,
property, right?
removing it, which might be a good thing. I mean, you might want them to do that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind them doing that.
Exactly, that would be very helpful to us.
Yeah, I mean, I think let's do the setbacks. Let's leave the right of way and see how it goes. I think
Okay.
for right now, because honestly, the right of way is into streets, it's into wires. If somebody, I mean, it's gonna be in the setback anyway.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's in the setback. So
I
as
think
soon as it's
setbacks
a
are gonna
right of
cover
way,
a lot
I
of-
think the right of way gets triggered as soon as they exceed their setback, because the right of way is the setback, right?
So at least building gets to look at it and see if it affects like a street, if
Yeah.
you're rooted under a street or,
Yeah, that's good. All right, so that's it. So the three areas are gonna be zones, the setbacks and diameter. Those are the two things that we're gonna focus on.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, Van Brunt Manor Road Triangle. So I circulated everything. That one, there's a couple of things I circulated last minute, but that one I circulated. So, I contacted the DEC. This is regarding the residents who came in requesting that the fence come down to accommodate occasional parking informally. In digging further, the DEC has this Article 25 jurisdiction over the area, and any parking designation would require a variance hearing. So even if we were letting them do it in the past, we probably shouldn't have been, according to the DEC, because it is right into the, and I did circulate, I think everybody saw the aerial view. You could see that the triangle is chewed up,
Mhm.
right? So DEC said that if we want to do something, even what's it called? Not pervious, right? Impervious or pervious? Which one's the one that drains? Like if we were to put gravel down or whatever. Pervious.
Yeah.
Permeable,
Permeable.
right?
Yeah.
So even with that, because of where it falls, we'd have to get a variance.
Okay.
So that was where the DEC landed. Rich Parish Stormwater Commissioner added that it would trigger that setting it up as parking would establish secret review. He kind of concurred with the DEC,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then Frank doesn't feel that it has any, he said that as far as monitoring for the bus stops, which was a big concern that the residents had, he said they'll find a spot to park. Not an issue. They'll pull to the side the way anybody else will. So, and he actually thought it was a good thing to leave it. So, I mean, based on check. The other thing that I did was I looked at the sizes. I did a comparison of all the sizes. And even though Van Brunt Manor gets a lot of flack for being a narrow road, it's actually the second widest road in Poquat. I think Washington's
After
wider.
Washington,
And then the
yeah.
next one's Harrison, believe it or not. Like as far as like you think it would be Singingwood, but it's not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Harrison. But it is the second widest. So the same issues that they have
Just
on,
feels more narrow.
it
because you
feels
have the
narrower
trees, I guess,
and
in the path.
you know, and
And you know
people,
what, like Harrison has curbs, right? I think Harrison has curbs.
I don't think Harrison has curbs, but Harrison's a
Or
cul-de-sac.
down at the
Nobody,
end,
Yeah,
right?
that, yeah,
Down
so
at
I'm
the
Oh,
thinking
they
that
do
that
at
might
the
be
end.
to
You
the
can feel
appearance
that wide.
that it's small, even though.
Yeah, it is kinda. They do
kinda
have
sit
a
there, you're
wide-
like, oh, this is
right.
a pretty good sized road.
Oh,
for
So,
Oakland.
Yeah.
I think-
Harrison is a nice- yeah.
I think based on all this, and you know, we had touched on sidewalks.
Yeah.
This-
Well, I'm sorry, I don't mean to
Yeah, go
sorry to interrupt, but I know we had asked the residents that were here the last couple of meetings that live there to, I guess, discuss with the other residents that, you know, had also mentioned or brought up questions about the usage of it. Have they sent anything in or
No.
submitted anything?
Yeah.
Didn't we ask them for some feedback or ideas if they?
Yeah,
for
and then
the
we asked
usage
them
of
if
it?
they wanted, with the sidewalks, we asked them to do some kind of petition
Yeah,
that they're willing to give up some of their property.
yeah,
But I believe, based on some of the assessment, the property actually belongs to Poquat. It's not even their property. So we wanted to put in,
it's pretty wide.
yeah, we wanted
let
to
me-
put
let me-
sidewalks in. It's actually, we're not taking their property. We're
Yeah.
taking maybe
No, I've
at
got
the
it.
end of the street where it's a
I've
little
got it
more
right
narrow,
here.
it
there's like-
tightens up towards the stop signs.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And then,
I wasn't sure if you.
but
But we haven't received
But we haven't
anything,
even
right?
gone down that path.
Yeah.
Some of
Like
them
everything.
Right,
have been very
okay.
expensive, but we didn't even go down that path. But I think that we said to get more information from the other people surrounding it, and I don't think we have any more feedback.
So the funny thing is, I had it wrong. Harrison's the widest road in Poquat. Van Brunt's the second widest, Washington's next, and then, down. Singingwood, I'm just curious. Singingwood is not. Singingwood goes a little bit like on number 10. But as far as the right of way on the east,
Who did that assessment?
I did,
Oh.
and I circulated it. It was
Oh,
in
you
the,
did? Oh, I
yeah,
didn't.
it was in the, it was here. You could take a look at it. It was in the share.
That's
I-
fine.
I-
Oh, maybe that's why I didn't see it.
No, I emailed it too, but it's,
This is very interesting.
in the top portion, it says the size of the easement. I don't remember, but 18 feet, 11 to 18.
11 to 18.
So the easement on the, because we couldn't do it on the shore side, because again, we're back into this Article 25, right? So if we wanted to do it, there is room to do it. But I think then you're looking at, how does that sidewalk hold up because Van Brunt Manor floods? And then the other thing is, the driveways on Van Brunt Manor are I did some average driveways, and then the average driveways on Van Brunt Manor, they're much longer. So as far as parking,
Mhm.
they have it better than we do.
Yeah.
I mean, the sidewalk is a lofty idea, and they're not, if Van Brunt with the speed bumps still continues to be a complaint, I think that would be the next step. I don't think it would be the next step right now. I think we have done our due diligence with slowing down the traffic. The road is wide enough. Their driveways are wider than most of the driveways. So I think the bus stop is secure. I don't think that there's anything wrong with going back to dedicate the triangle as a green space. Where we started last spring, or last fall, or whenever it was. I think it was last fall, right? Yeah. So like, if I think, that being said, we've done our due diligence. I would go back to pursuing the green space in the triangle. I'd leave the fence up. They can't park there anyway, so now there's no point in not having it, right? And then let's look at doing a picnic table or a bench or something down there. Let's look at having the landscaper, maybe if we think it's a smart idea, let's have them seed it so that it'll grow and it'll look nicer. I'm not opposed to asking the landscaper to seed it if everybody feels okay about that. Rake it out and seed it now, aerate it now that we're starting the season, make it look nice, and then maybe, spring, fall, next budget, we put a picnic table and a bench down there if everyone's in agreement.
Yeah, it's an entrance. It should look nice. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole village.
We have the nice sign there. I think we could do that. And I think it alleviates all the complaints that we had from the people with the debris and everything else. It'll be like a little mini park for that area. All right, so.
So I also I think it's all a great idea. I think the PCA was talking about beautifying the sign with the plants and. right?
Down there?
Yeah, I think it was there and the entrance.
That'd be
So I
great.
would just work with them to
Yeah.
make sure that we don't, like, put a bench or something.
Yeah,
like a
I-
table
I-
right where they're gonna.
I mean,
put
right
it.
now,
I
honestly,
know they're getting drawings and stuff now.
that's
to
great.
do
So
it.
I think we should wait to hear what they have. I think for right now, immediate, I think we should just have them tell the landscapers to aerate it and put some seed down. Yeah, all right.
I think it's good.
So grass,
You want me to do that?
sure, if you want. Okay. Nitrogen Smart Community Pilot Program.
We submitted our application. I'm probably going to hear back next week because actually the 17th was their closing date for application. So I know I circulated the proposed resolution that they asked us to do. So we can either wait until we hear back. We can do it contingent on final approval. I'm assuming we're going to be selected. I talked to the committee members from the program. They said they were working with 2 or 3 larger villages, and they were very excited to have a smaller residential community involved in the program. So I'm assuming we're going to be, you know,
Picked.
we'll hear next week, yeah, that we'll be
Okay.
selected for it.
Next week?
So, yeah, so I don't think there's a rush to do the resolution tonight, but if we want to contingent, we can, but
I don't think I had one in there. Did I have the nitrogen rich? Did I put one in?
I don't think so.
We can,
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it next week or based on,
well, if we need one, if you're saying to accept, or can we do it next month?
that's what I'm saying, next month. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't think we're going to hear back about the program until next week.
Okay,
And then it'll, you know, it's not a set in stone to move forward with accepting. So I think it's just a general commitment to the program for the 2-year period.
okay,
So, and just to reiterate, it's at no cost to the village. They're going to supply a consultant essentially to work with the village and monitor the nitrogen impact that our village has on the surrounding bodies of water, and then help us with providing information and education back to the residents on things we can do on improving, whether it's depending on what the results come back, if it's fertilizer based on alternatives we can use, and help us with supplying information to residents based on what the what the feedback comes back over the 2-year process.
are you handling it, or do you want to appoint a commissioner?
No, I
or
mean,
what
I'm
do you
happy
think?
to be the contact. So as part of it also,
You have
I
to
mean,
appoint people, right? You have to get a
so
group?
it's a small, basically a working group after. So yeah, it would be, obviously our stormwater commissioner, our task force harbor, contact, and anybody else who is interested in being part of it. So essentially, after we accept, I would just basically, or somebody, as I'm saying, I'm happy to, would be the contact throughout the 2-year program, and then put
So
together.
do you want to be the contact person and put together a team?
Yeah.
Talk to Rich, talk to,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he will. I mean, ask John if he's interested.
Interested in.
Yeah, and any
Maybe
other
grab a
residents
few
that
other
are,
environmentally savvy
involved
people.
people.
Okay,
So
all right, so we'll do that resolution next month. Okay, the Resilience Planning Support Program. That's you and
So,
Chris.
yeah, so we after kind of with meeting with the I think this all started after the Settlecott, right? We started
We
meeting
met
with Elizabeth
from this
from Sea
organization.
Grant.
Yep.
Yeah, Long Island Sound Resilience group, and we submitted a grant application, and we were selected. And so basically what it's going to be is a grant for the planning and the mapping of our beach areas for Walnut and for California, the marshlands, the wetlands behind Walnut, and also around the retaining pond at California. So if everybody remembers when we had the washout from the storm, part of the reason that we had trouble with getting additional reimbursement from FEMA for the actual sand and beach itself was because we didn't have detailed plans and historical plans, elevations, and erosion plans, historical erosion plans. And so this is basically going to kind of
Cover that.
And beyond that too, when we did meet with engineers to get this work done and to start this process, the cost was beyond what we were able to commit. So this helps us at least get the plans. As long as we're awarded a grant, it'll help cover
Do
the costs.
they give you a timeline on?
Yeah, so the way that it works is we were just notified this week that we were selected. I just emailed back Elizabeth today with some additional information she needed. It closes the 17th as well. And then
17th of April?
yeah,
Okay.
as far as their feedback process. So, but we've already been selected. So the way that it works, there's no cost to the village, and they handle everything. So we send in the information for an RFP that they're going to send out to local vendors, that they have a list, and they ask anybody that we were working with. So they then they send out the RFPs, they hire, they pay directly. No money comes through the village. We don't have to handle payments. It's through Sea Grant and Cornell. And then basically they're expecting around August for contracts to be signed and people to be, moving forward, vendors and contractors to be, contracts to be finalized and to move forward with the project. And then once they're done, all of the information that they collect comes to Poquat. We keep it, it's permanent, we don't, we
Even
keep
if
it
we
in our
don't
record.
use
Well,
them going forward for
Yeah.
any project, we still own all their plans and reports.
And their plans we can utilize their plans for
So
the
we-
rehab of Walnut.
Right.
We can use that, those can be the plans, and then also
We have a wall.
for like the washout.
For
You know
all
how
the-
water
Oh,
comes
Yeah,
through
the trenching,
I was
that
thinking- I was
the
Yeah.
trenching that's been down there,
Yeah, yeah.
like we need to,
and then
like
the
if they're
tidal
gonna,
wetland
I mean,
and
I would have
overlap
loved to
with
have,
the,
I would have
with the
loved it
road.
if they
All
could
of
do it
your
now.
Problems down there and.
Yeah, all the problems at Walnut, if they can give us an engineered
Yeah.
plan and then
do
we
a plan,
can,
get it,
we
And
can,
then the other
we
thing
could get
too-
some people to figure out how to fix it. So,
yeah, and then
yeah.
fix it right instead of just dumping sand that just washes out within, a season.
The other thing to keep in mind is that once they do engage a vendor, we are also in our rights to then ask that vendor or contract with that vendor to extend the scope of the project if we want to. I mean, we would have to pay for the additional, but like, for instance, so
But
we
get
get
all the
down there.
foundations done.
Yeah, so if we say, hey, can you expand your scope of work to include, the tie into the roads or, or whatever we need at the time, the seawall, if we want to get that wall there, then we can contract with them directly. And they have, Sea Grant will still just, all the information is
So are
proprietary
we-
to our village.
Yeah, it's good.
So the only thing that I would say, and this goes back to the white pine thing, I would ask her. I mean.
Yeah, I put a call into her so we
Right,
can just
because
talk
we'll
about that
talk
other
about white
retention
pine in a
pond.
few
Yeah.
minutes, but white pine, the sinkhole, even though it's all the way on white pine, it ties, I don't know if you guys had time, I just got the summary from Rich yesterday, so it ties into that retention basin
Yeah.
on, behind
People talk, right?
behind Tinker Bluff and Dyers, right? So I would be curious because we need to have that like engineered too. I don't think that, I mean, the repair, I guess we'll talk about white pine. The assessment's complete. The repair's going to be done,
Mhm.
but we need to update our records.
Yeah.
So if you can talk to them and see if they can integrate it.
I will, because when we originally were talking about the scope of the grant, it was originally focused on Walnut, and we said, look, we also have at the time, we have California is the other area that had significant washout.
Right.
We have decaying seawall, and and want to look at erosion in that area as well.
Right.
And we also mentioned Van Brunt, and it was kind of like honed us in a little bit to
We received
to
some
Walnut,
guidance on
and then
What to ask for,
yeah, and then they expanded
what to
it
qualify for. Right?
yeah, and then they
What we're
expanded it to
what-
include California, which was a bonus. So
Right.
we can push it and get anywhere
Well,
else.
I think, we'll talk about the white pine in a minute, but I think that the updated plans, and I would run it by Rich too, that might be something that we can, once we have the repair, that might be something we can wait on if they'll integrate it. It's something to think about so that we can get it done without paying for it.
To be honest, this is really what this is the foundational piece that we're missing for everything down there.
Yep.
We didn't get FEMA reimbursement because we didn't have it. We can't do any work because we don't have it. So once you get this, and then you can apply for other grants and opportunities along the way, but this is the first thing you need
I
to
think that's great.
Yeah,
start that
this is
process. So
Timing's good.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys. That was a great job. All right, oh, look, my numbers are all screwed up. Oh, well.
Oh,
Secure,
I fixed some of them.
oh, you did? Not on my, not on,
No, the
it's,
real ones.
okay. Security cameras. So the security cameras, you did get the
So we
quotes?
Yeah, we've discussed a few meetings ago, needing security cameras, and they were budgeted for, in the upcoming budget. The attached, I gave you guys like a synopsis of just what the quotes came in at, because there was like 12 pages of like technology talk and things like that. So, we had one come in at $5,646, one at $14,781, one at $6,742. That is like the budget upgrade of basically just keeping the system we have and adding almost a secondary on top to fill all the gaps and things like that. If we want to upgrade the entire system, it becomes $17,000.
Okay, so the first column is to upgrade the system we have, and the
Is
second
the
column is a
budget, yeah.
replacement.
Yes, except for the first one, because they didn't include like update the whole system, because we had said it was, you know, we wanted,
Okay, how many cameras do we have now?
we have, I think, 6,
6 cameras,
maybe?
inside and outside? Or just inside?
Yeah, I think it's 8 total, including us.
I can tell you.
6, right?
We'll count them. I think it's more.
I don't think it's that many.
Okay, so I'm just still a little confused. So the upgrade is column 1,
Yeah,
to just upgrade the system that we
and
have?
well, and add the cameras. So we would keep the system we have and then add on like 3 additional, because we had a few problems. And
Where
we
do you
had
want to put
like,
the 3 additional cameras?
there would be 2 additional outside. I think it's 3 additional outside, like, I don't know if you guys know, the PCA president had numerous decorations stolen from in front of Village Hall. We had an
Because
additional for
she
hearing
left it
woman.
outside? Because she left it outside overnight?
Well, that we can't see anything that comes in or out, so if somebody came in a window,
There's 9 cameras
Yeah.
currently?
and then we would be
Well, one doesn't
adding,
work, one's not,
yeah,
but.
so 8 working.
So
then-
8
but we have
working.
none, But the upgrade would make it work, I assume.
And then we have. we
No,
would
I don't
leave
think
that
so.
system and then put like another 3.
I don't
in.
think the upgrade would repair the one. I think it would add to it, right? Wasn't the upgrade didn't
No,
repair
so
it?
Repair what we
So
have
there's
first.
one, so to upgrade the entire system, replace all the cameras, install new ones, that's the column tip, right? The
Except the
14,000.
Because there's
Yeah,
no way that
he
they're doing
just-
it for that price.
No, that was for, this price is for only 1 camera at the entrance. He didn't include any of the other things.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
And then the one on the left is to do just basically like an add-on secondary system almost, instead of replacing the entire thing and replacing all these cameras that are.
And rewiring and everything.
Working, yeah,
Yeah.
so then,
They work, so why would we replace them and not
exactly,
just
so
add
we
them?
just need like a secondary system with like the 3 cameras on it.
And then the 3 additional ones are all outside?
I believe so, there might have been 1 additional inside,
Um,
and 2 outside.
let me just speak to this as far as why replace them. Just, I'm not saying we should, but just, they are an old system, so visually they don't record as well.
Are
Right.
they digital?
Those, I don't even know.
You know if they're currently digital?
I don't think so.
No, they're like,
They're, I don't think they get the detail that.
Yeah,
No.
the quality of the images, the
like
the
maybe
rewinding, the whole thing,
like
it's very
replacement.
difficult. And that was the reason for the ones
yeah.
in the front, because we have no ability to read
Yeah, they
plates.
would have the ability to replay, see who's coming, because right now there's no.
There's nothing. It's, so the reason for it is because we're dealing with a system that looks like a sonogram.
Yeah, I mean,
It's bad. So,
That's on point.
what? That was on point. Well, that's what I've seen it. It looks like a
That's
sonogram.
what we're talking about.
So,
Then we have another building that's like the digital. It's
So,
beautiful.
right, yeah. So, I
Like
mean, I
your
think,
work
I
day.
think,
The
I
person's
think
having
it's
coffee, But then, they're talking, whatever.
I think it's a valid, do you know what we budgeted for?
Yeah, that was my next question.
I just looked at the budget, we had $8,800 in the capital expense, I think 1,800 of that was for new computer, and then $7,000 of that was for, cameras.
Did
Wait,
Frank
how
have,
much? 7,000 for camera?
Yeah, so we did have Frank weigh in, because again, this is a lot of like technical
yeah,
stuff, and he had a few follow-up questions, and
So when we did the budget though, here's my question. So we budgeted $7,000, but when we did the budget, why didn't we have, like,
we didn't have like 3rd quotes in and stuff, so we just went off, our best guesstimate, and then,
Which
because again,
2
now
of
we're
them?
pulling more money?
yeah, 2 of them are right there anyways, that's how we knew,
right.
but we were waiting on a 3rd one, and we're waiting for Spectrum's response to Frank, he had a few additional questions for that.
So is IAL, is that, if you include, does that include 3 cameras, you said?
So IAL is, I can tell you what it is for. So the 767, right?
Yeah.
So that is furnish, install an NVR with an additional 16 channels, analog and 16 channels of IP recording, 3 IP cameras, turret style, on the exterior of the building, 1 at the entrance, 4 junction boxes, 6-port PoE network switch, and an LED monitor, because they would,
Is that all under the 6,700?
That's not bad.
No,
And
because I mean,
then-
if you're adding, right, because that's 4 cameras. So if you're doing
Yeah,
this,
and then
that's another 10 grand, so
Spectrum.
it's gonna be 15, right? So they're in total,
Mhm.
just for the upgrades. I mean,
Yeah.
they're by far the lowest bidder comparatively. Is that fair?
within budget.
Spectrum,
Yeah.
I think
I like
is.
I like that.
So
If I was
Spectrum's
looking at you.
5,600, so they're actually like the lowest.
But you get hit for
That
cameras, right?
includes- No, it does.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, the way it was written here, I thought it was like,
Per camera, right?
Yeah.
You get
No,
one
no,
camera
no,
per
this
camera.
is for them to do, you know, the additional 3 cameras, 4 cameras, whatever.
okay.
IAL is not too bad.
What's that?
IAL is not too bad.
No, I think it's great. Did Frank have any input?
So Frank had reached out to Spectrum because they were the lowest, with just some like clarification questions on, you know, because sometimes licensing now with like the new
Right.
programs.
Who do you
comes
use?
this way. Oh, Eye on You installed these in like,
Oh, okay, so none of these people, these are all new.
no, they came in
They
around
came-
and never.
Yeah.
That's anything,
Do you have what does Spectrum include?
Spectrum has the entrance camera, an additional 4 channel. If you want to make sense of it.
Just trying to do like apples to apples on the,
I know we tried to
quantities
put
of
their
cameras
technology
basically.
and
Yeah,
what everybody recommends in terms of like, I don't know, camera width and
What
angle.
you're asking for is the same thing. If they don't bid the same thing when you're asking for the same thing.
Then
that's-
you
Which we
probably
did.
compare, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we gotta,
Yeah, but then some people are like, oh, you, like one said we couldn't add on to this, and then one was like, no, you need a whole new system, you know.
it's like anything.
Well, you have,
else,
you have empty slots, right? So
There,
you can add on slots.
I think it's so old, we can't actually
No.
add new cameras to it, because the 2 new cameras
Yeah,
are not
They
compatible.
won't be compatible with the sonogram equipment.
You know what I mean? The system's so old that we can't.
But then the
Yeah,
other
this
two
is
people
not
said,
AI,
but the
right?
other 2 people said, yes, we can do that. We can add on.
No, we would, I think with all of them, we would get another 32 channel hybrid.
Oh, you're getting a new,
And-
We're getting like a whole secondary thing they plug
And
into.
every one of these was in person, so they all
So
came here to
Yeah,
see,
and some of them,
so,
you know, Frank was here to explain to them. what
oh,
they
these
needed.
these are analog too.
so they all saw it, they all
You
saw
channels
it.
are analog.
what's are they 1080? And how many does it say on the camera?
Wait a minute.
The cameras, and one that's speed to 8 to 12 millimeters. Is that on the back? Let's just say yeah. Doesn't say. HD high def.
Doesn't say.
Yeah, that's the other quote too. It's for the higher price one on that
Yeah.
page. So it just says the one, and then the 2 8 to 12 millimeter. Just these
This is
just have
32
the,
also. No, this is,
this is just has like the 1080.
16 channel.
Yeah,
Does it say 16 channels on it?
this one has.
No, because that was 24.
We're looking to see how many-
Did Frank
Yeah.
have a choice, a preference between the 2 lower bidders? Because obviously
Frank
14,000 is
had
out.
reached out about Spectrum.
This one, I mean, this one has 4.
And he
additional
met with
4
Spectrum.
cameras. That
I mean, he met
has
with that one too.
2,
But Frank had said go with
3
Spectrum.
here.
3.
Oh, all right,
and
well-
additional, so 4. So we're kind of on the same.
That's,
So we're both 4 cameras.
did
and
you
the
hear
same.
what,
Well,
I'm sorry. No.
Frank?
Frank had followed up with Spectrum because they were lowest, but he also met with them.
Okay.
And, you know, he's the one that, like, Frank kind of pursued with additional questions.
and
What was the
he,
additional question?
He just wanted to make sure, like, the licensing wasn't, you know, anything crazy like that, so he said, questions here. He had asked like with licensing quotes, and there was like a mention of a bracket. He wanted to ask how much the bracket was, but it was included. So the licensing, the per 1 year licensing it comes with, but then each year after it would be $208.
That's not a lot.
So it would still be like,
So he liked Spectrum?
yeah.
So you're just a little bit
Spectrum was
bigger monitor,
what
but
best,
I
like,
mean,
suited
everything
to
else
me.
kind of looks the same. It's a 32-inch versus a 22-inch monitor, but I mean, you
In
know,
that rate, you could just. buy
Yeah.
one.
yeah. I
And
mean,
if he's the
everything
one
else looks
using
very
it,
similar.
we should.
Yeah, Frank might
We
be
should
able
be
to
there.
guide.
I mean, I would go with what Frank
The lowest
recommends.
bid?
Yeah,
Well, the lowest, I mean, if Frank's recommending the lowest bid and they're not too, like,
Yeah.
you know, we're not losing 2 cameras to get the lowest bid, I would,
Yeah.
I think as long as they both have the same amount of cameras and he
Mm-hmm.
went over it with them, I would just award it to Spectrum, if that's what he's
We're going column
recommending.
one, though. We're going with the
Yeah.
upgrade.
Column
Yeah,
one.
the
Yeah.
5,646.
yeah.
Spot
What's
on.
our
Yeah.
budget now? Look at that.
Yeah,
No extra money.
We're cooked.
good, all right.
Thanks, Jess.
All right, so we're gonna go with
Can we
Spectrum,
hang on to it, or you want it back?
That
Want the
worked
other
out
one too?
pretty well.
5646. So let's just make that not to exceed 5,700, because I don't want to have to vote on it again, all right?
Yeah.
All right, Village Hall mural. You see, Dave didn't work for a long time because of the cold, so we decided to use his extra hours and have him do a little spiffing up. He painted the hallway, he painted the clerk's office, and he's going to be and we met with Eddie, our historian, to discuss putting up some pictures. This was always meant to be a mural. We just never got around it. So I went over it with Eddie, and this is tentatively what we would be putting on that wall here.
So like turn this into wallpaper, like a peel and
Yeah,
stick
like
kind
a
of
peel
thing?
and stick, right?
Yeah.
And then Eddie had given me these additional photos that I gave him those were my picks.
Mhm.
And then he gave me his picks. So I'm sharing both. I had thrown mine in. A lot of these right now are thumbnail resolution. So
Mhm.
those were high resolution. I got those from the thing that we did in at the Village Center. Do you remember that a while ago?
Yeah.
So they gave me a lot of high resolution scanned images. Eddie's are not at -1, but I reached out to him to tell him, see if he could get them. Some of these are already in there. Some of them are not. I mean, I would just take a look and see if there's any that you want to swap out. I'm open to anything. I'm really liking the old fashioned photos.
I love it.
Is that an old map of Pokemon as a backdrop to it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I love this. That's awesome.
I like the old map in the background.
Yeah, me too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it looks great.
So does anybody have shots that they want to swap out? Because this is what I have. Eddie gave me those. I tried to put a bunch. I liked a lot of his. Oh,
Yeah.
let me just see that for a second,
But
because
they're
I'm gonna.
not as-
I think
They're not,
the
but
combination
it-
of the two.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna mark out the ones that I like this one. I like this one.
Well, he made a good point.
I like this one.
You could also just do some additional picture frames for the ones that you like.
Yeah. I like this one. And
I like the design that you did right there. If that,
Okay,
that's
so
what we're
I had-
going with, I think
one of them is already there. One of them that he picked, I already put in. And then I'm showing 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought, but when I was working on it, I thought we could swap out the old beach maybe for this construction site, although that is right in front of California. So it's got a little bit more of historic. This could be any day. So I don't know, between those two. Then I really like this one. And I was going to swap that out. For any of these, I really like this one. I thought that was
I
really
like
cute.
that one too.
Okay, so are we all like that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Canoe.
And two of the kids on the dock.
Yeah.
And then I liked this one with the kid,
Yeah.
because it's
On the horse.
yeah,
on
the horse.
little carrot.
Okay,
Yeah.
kid. And then this is the Pine Bluff, like on the beach. I thought that was nice.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that's cool.
Um,
There's one with similar, and I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's very similar.
Yeah. you
well,
could,
I can ask him if we want to pick between these two, and
I
This
would pick.
picture might be better. 'Cause it's
Okay,
hard
so
to
then
high
nix
resolution,
this.
right?
so do you want me to ask him if he can get the kid in the
You guys
canoe?
good with that? Yeah.
yeah.
The kid in the
I think between
canoe,
the
and
two
we'll try to
houses,
swap out some of which ones don't you like of that? Pick two to swap out while we're here.
Doesn't
Huh?
have
I,
Yeah, we're gonna do more, but I mean, this is
I
gonna,
don't think I'm
we don't have to split hairs on it?
No.
I think maybe
I
this
like what
one,
you have.
just because it's,
All right,
I think maybe this one, if you're gonna swap one out, because it's kind of, it's small and it's hard to determine, like, it could be
Okay, pick an-
anything from
well,
up
we have,
close.
I have room for one more, the kid.
Um,
I'll put the kid there. Here, let me write that down.
Yeah.
Kid. And then we got the canoe. So the canoe's a little wider. So you could do canoe.
I mean, I don't know if maybe you move one over, but maybe this one, just because you
So
have a
similar.
number of these.
Okay, so
of the-
then
of the
I'll
boat
make it
ones,
work.
right?
So
And-
take this one away
Yeah.
and do the canoe.
Yeah.
I'll-
Couldn't have found a similar size square.
No, it's fine. I will, I'll shift it, I'll shift it
It's gonna
around.
connect over to here
Isn't
now.
her
It's got a whole
background,
mural
like,
except for that
graphics
one
design?
picture. It's gonna finish right here.
We'll give her a little challenge.
All right, so that's great. And the cost of it, the cost that I'm seeing is between 300 and 600 for the thing, and I want to do the peel and stick.
Yeah.
So,
There's more pictures in here, I think we need.
yeah, oh no, I
That's-
want to, now that the clerk's office is blue, which it wasn't supposed to be
I
blue,
know.
kind of was a
it's little-
mistake. But I think,
But they like
I
it,
think
like
if
whatever.
we do white curtains and white frame pictures, I think it's gonna look fine. I think it'll look nautical and we'll do something big or whatever. You get used to it after a little while, not initially. All right, so that's that. DEC permits. So I have not started that yet, but it's on my to-do list, is the Van Brunt Manor Beach and the Van Brunt Manor flooding. I did do some shots of
Did we
that.
skip White Pine?
No, that's coming next. Oh, do I have it backwards? Am I reading?
Yeah, I
Ours
just-
is the other way.
Oh,
around,
all right,
it's
so then
okay.
let's go. Let's,
Wait, Van Brunt Manor.
Just finish DEC.
I'm doing the DEC permits. Van Brunt Manor Beach, the gravel, the gravel, bringing that down there for the commissioner.
Do we
I
decide we're
thought
doing
we
that?
said no to that.
Yeah,
right?
that we did too.
I didn't know, we said no. I know he wanted to do it. I know that we had a resident who said he didn't want that, and our commissioner had said, tell him to put shoes on. Or
Yeah, but I
we,
thought we couldn't, there was a problem, I thought, with the ground.
No, there wasn't a problem. It was just a difference of opinion.
right, we had a resident who said he didn't feel that he wanted to have the gravel.
The
Well-
DEC was fine. with
Yeah, the
with
DEC was
request,
fine.
And they were fine,
Okay.
and they also said the path could essentially be widened if need be.
Right,
There was just a difference of opinion on whether or not you do a Moby mat, which is like the ones you see at West Meadow Beach or Jones
but the
Beach.
commissioner didn't want the
He didn't
Moby
like the
mat.
Moby mat. He liked the gravel better. Some of the residents that were here, one of the residents said they didn't like the gravel, and he made the suggestion you're referring to.
For them to put
The
the shoes
gravel's
on.
gonna be a headache over time, like, it's gonna get all messed up and keep fixing it, or
I mean,
I
it's,
think the path needs to be maintained in some regard because it's not exactly the most friendly.
I'm
to
leaving
walk
it up to you guys because honestly, I like the Moby mat. So I'm outvoted by,
There's no
Kinda
DEC
everybody.
issue, there's no environmental issue?
we have to get a permit, which is what we would do. Chris and I met with them. We met with them for Walnut,
for FEMA originally.
we met with them from FEMA, and then we
Who's that?
met with them, the DEC.
Oh, okay.
We met with them in the fall to find out about Van Brunt, if we could put stuff down there. There's also like we're gonna have to do some kind of piping because there's water gathering to the what is it? Would it be south?
South of the intersection. with White
South of the
Pine. Yeah.
intersection, there's water gathering there, so we'd have to do some kind of trenching to reroute the water. But they said, just fill out, they said that those were like pretty much just complete the permit, and they didn't see either one of them being a problem. Walnut was more complicated because it had the wetlands and everything else, so I'm saying that would be more for the engineer, especially now that we have one. But I would like to move forward with those two permits, but we have to make a decision what if any path we're gonna do at Van Brunt. Do we not like the gravel? I like the Moby mats.
What was the cost?
I don't know what the Moby mats look like.
Have you been to West
I'm trying
Meadow
to
Beach?
figure out what it.
The Moby mats, they have them
Is it
down.
black or is it-
They're blue at West Meadow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they're
it's essentially a textured mat that rolls on top of the sand, so you can roll. It's got some structure to it, so you can walk on it and you can roll
Stroller,
stuff on it,
wheelchair.
strollers and
And it's like,
wheel devices.
There's like holes in it, or is it a solid mat?
It's porous, but it's continuous.
It's like
Can we go
a,
look at it? Can I make-
Yeah, I mean, we
Can we go look at it? Because I'd like to see what it looks like.
well, we don't have a Moby mat to look at. Oh, you mean to go to West Meadow?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want, we could table it and look at the Moby mats and we can make a decision next month. But he didn't like it. The commissioner didn't like the
No,
Moby
he
mats.
suggested the gravel.
Oh, because it looks like a street.
And there was no
So
issue
you
on
can get
either
different- I mean, this is just
solution.
one- this is
With
from
the
a
DC,
DC
no.
perspective.
And it's
Just
just
like
a, like the
flexible
concept.
to
Yeah, it moves. You can, yeah, you can
move
sort
around the trail.
yeah,
Straight
basically.
shot.
Yeah.
The path down there, again, is not the most friendly path with the overgrowth that occurs and the fact
We
that
do
it's an
get a lot of
uneven.
complaints from residents because like it's the grass, like you're kind of walking through like high weed, like something needs to be, it's only like this wide.
Something needs to be
Grass
done.
and
I mean, we can
stuff.
open, we can dig it up and just make it sand, but again, like, I think they were looking for something that was a little bit more of a
It wanted,
delineated solution, right?
yeah,
So thoughts?
I mean, again, I'm still of the mindset something should be done down there.
Agreed.
I agree,
So-
too. I agree that something should be done. I don't know what that something is, but
So do you guys want to take a look, go look at the Moby mats, or do we not?
Yeah.
I mean, he said he didn't like them, but, you know, he's making
Yeah,
the recommendation
indication.
for a path.
Right.
I'm not trying to not do what but, you know, there's some sentiment about the gravel. We did have another resident come in and say they didn't love the gravel. Your point is valid, that the gravel could become messy at some point. I don't want to
I don't know
force,
if the Moby mats are attractive.
well, do you guys want to take a drive down?
Yeah.
Are they out at West Meadow? They probably are, or not yet?
You
Uh,
could also, I
might be
think
'cause
it was
parking is
circulated an
April
example
1st
of the Moby
parking
mat
starts, so.
way long ago when this originally came up, but
You guys have
But we just, yeah, I'm interested to see how it actually.
you wanna see it in person.
Yeah,
You
like,
wanna see it
but
for
how
real.
do you?
They have them at Cedar Beach too. And the ones at Cedar Beach are not blue, right?
No, you can get there. I mean, there's brown. You can get like
Oh,
you can get
okay, so not
different
as- they're not
colors.
as-
It doesn't have to be as like stark as a contrast, you know, and they can blend in a little bit more. The brown,
How
the
much are they?
sand tone. This one is $900 for 17 feet.
Which is
Linear feet.
You would use like.
If-
The whole budget of
seven or
one,
eight.
of,
No, you'd only use like, you only need like 6 feet there, and then it opens up.
Yeah.
They just
And
want
this
an
is-
easier
and
way,
this is on
a
a
nicer
this is on
way
a
to get
5-foot
from
wide
road
road.
to
I just pulled the
kayak
first
rack.
one, so I mean.
We're not,
That's
you
it.
know,
I agree with that.
we're not trying to blow up the beach and start over.
I agree with
I
that,
just-
yeah.
You know, the longevity to it.
Yeah.
Right,
that's-
you like
I mean,
leave
you-
that down, you don't take it up in the.
No, you
winter.
take it up in the winter.
You can roll it.
You
and,
roll
like,
it out for the summer and then you roll it
Yeah.
back and they go
Not
away.
applicable to the, whatever solution we use, but just worth mentioning. Commissioner is active, goes down there regularly, his reports are very good, he takes pictures, he backs it up with he's an active commissioner. I think the request is reasonable, whether it be gravel, I know he doesn't necessarily care for the Moby mat as much, but the request is reasonable. I think that if you go down there, you can look at it and see that it needs attention in some capacity.
I
I
was,
think
yeah,
that- I think we're all in
I think if you
agreement to
get that,
that.
yeah, I think if
I
we,
just
I
think
think
it's
if
we all
we,
deciding which ones it's gonna be.
Yeah.
think
I
we're all in
mean,
agreement
me
to that.
personally, I would, even though I like the Moby mat, I would defer to the commissioner. Cause that's why we have them, but that's just
that's
me.
how I feel too, but if you guys wanna take if you wanna take a reprieve to look at the mat and come to a decision next month on what we should do.
I'm gonna
there's no-
start the,
You should start,
I'm
can you
gonna,
start the permit process
I'm
without?
gonna start working on the permit process for both of those, cause you know, it might take me 3 weeks to
Yeah.
do it, so why don't we could do this via email,
Yeah,
okay?
I just-
Like-
I think the original purpose of Moby mats when they were created was for accessibility. You know, I think that was, you know,
They're like ADA.
yeah, exactly, ADA accessibility.
So that's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah. All right, so
Absolutely.
why don't we just plan on everybody do their research on Moby mats, go down there, take a look, imagine gravel, visualize it, and then I'll send an email in 2 weeks and we'll come to a conclusion. And then I will, by that time, hopefully I will have tackled some of this permit and have an idea, you
Just
know?
plug in with
Does that work?
Well, I'm sorry, I don't understand what we need a permit for.
Because you're working on the shoreline,
DEC,
DEC
oh,
needs
you
a
need
permit.
DEC
You need,
permit.
you need to
Okay.
get permit to
Okay.
do anything down there.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So I think we're all in
So
agreement.
now where am I on my list now that?
Sinkhole.
Okay, so the White Pine sinkhole? Okay, so the White Pine sinkhole, the assessment is complete. Did everybody get a chance to look at it? I apologize, I sent it out a little late. I didn't get it until late. Okay, so in a nutshell, it is the assessment. They came to the conclusion of what it is. It's a Dave culvert,
The culvert under the road,
right?
that's for drainage purposes.
That is broken and it needs to be repaired. So Earthworm is he did the assessment, he did the emergency mark out. He's gonna do the emergency work. He told Mike that he was looking at
How much is it?
the thing between 10 and 20.
And we don't have to bid that out?
No, because it's an emergency. We couldn't, the road was literally collapsing on both sides. Like we could not,
Oh, that's what he did already?
he opened it up and now it's
Thank
open.
you.
So we have to finish it.
No,
you
I
know?
saw what
Is
he
it
did,
closed off now?
he looks,
Or
no,
He's
it
got-
looks like there's stuff in it.
He's got metal, he's got
He
one,
packed
he's
something
got
in it.
one packed in temporarily and the other one, he's got a metal grate because he can't, but
Right.
we have
They
to
say
kind
you
of,
can Drive over now.
Yeah, well, I drove on it the other day.
I wouldn't,
There's- There was a big void under the driveway.
Yeah.
When I looked at it, there's a Belgian block missing. The guy had cobblestone driveway, apron there, and under the apron was eroded back at least 2 feet, under 3 feet
the,
of soil.
the
was
resident
missing,
might
and
have
under
to do
the street,
something.
It was about 2 to 3 feet of soil that was not there.
I'm, we need to figure out what the resident, because just sorry to interrupt, but just to clarify, this method of stormwater management is not to code. This is original from when the development was established. And Rich said, well, we're gonna have to keep it going. That's not to say that we may not have to, we have to see what happens, because there's the failure happened for some reason. So that resident may have to, at some point, not today to fix this, but we may have to require that they put in a dry well as well. Rich is going to be here in June. He's going to assess it and we'll make a determination. But right now, I mean, it's passable, but we need to expedite the repair. Keith is going to do it. He's not sure yet because he's still digging and underneath there, and he just opened it up to see where it was coming, but he has to kind of see where, if there's more breaks and whatnot. So I don't know how much of that road is going to get opened, but initially the problem has been, the issue has been, we've pinpointed where it's coming from. We need to see how much more it expands. So there's a range. I mean, he's saying 10, 20,000 to repair it. And then we're gonna, if we don't get an engineer, if we don't have, somebody who can't get assistance, we're probably gonna have to pay an engineer a couple of thousand too, to update it, because this is something that was kind of a surprise. We didn't know it was there. It's also something that there may be other houses tied into it. So it's a bigger thing, but we need to fix the sinkholes, address this
Well,
crack.
how did somebody, who noticed it?
The resident on 15 and then the resident on the other side. The two sides started to, they're,
And they called and said, oh, something's sinking?
Yeah.
Well, I noticed like one of their cobblestones was missing, and then they were like, oh. I think
got
something's
sucked into
out.
the earth.
And then, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And then a day later, he came in and he's like, I stuck my arm in it, and it's like 2 feet deep, and we're like,
It's
Yeah.
a big void under the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah,
It's a
so-
bit of a thing.
So that's where we are. The good news is we do have chips, right? What are we
Chip's gonna pay
looking
for
at?
that?
Yeah, they do drainage culverts, things like that, as long as it's anything beyond regular maintenance.
They did,
It's
they
only
did
the pothole they
the,
won't cover, but
which one did they do? They did the one on Singing Wood, right? Or was it Dyer's? Singing Wood.
I'm pretty sure it was singing.
Yeah, we
Yeah, it was like
got
last year.
reimbursement on Dyer's for the storm, and partial from the
Yeah.
storm. The FEMA paid for part of Dyer's drainage repairs,
That
and
was before
CHIPS
me,
covered,
CHIPS
and
paid
CHIPS
for it.
covered the other portion of it, so we got that fully reimbursed. And I believe it was before my time, but I'm pretty sure Singing Wood was CHIPS. Does anybody, I don't,
Yeah, and then.
Jeff, do you remember? Yeah,
Whatever they did on Monroe, at some point was covered by CHIPS,
yes,
or
that,
Highview, one of those. roads.
yeah, yes.
Yeah, so they will take care of, drainage, culverts, things like that, any kind of like bigger highway project beyond potholes.
Yeah.
These potholes are considered like regular maintenance.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, that's great.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
it
that's,
should be okay.
where we're at with that.
It'd be better if there wasn't a sinkhole, but it is nice that there's not.
That would be better.
Well, I mean.
It would also be better if we didn't have some antiquated
Swallowed up.
tunnel system under the village that could potentially open up in another location, but let's
Wait,
see.
what location is this?
I'm saying that this is something that we didn't know we had. It's,
Concrete culvert or cement pipe culvert?
what's that?
I have to confirm.
Cement.
There's
Yeah,
like,
you gotta
there's
look
a beneath the ground version of Bopot with a bizarre routine.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
Wizard of Oz,
it's like,
underneath
it's,
the ground.
what's that? Yeah, Stranger Things. There's all, that's where everything, that's where I go to die in June.
I drive over it sometimes in the hopes that it just.
And then you gotta watch Chubb too.
Don't say that.
All right, so anyway, that's the situation with White Pine. All right, what's next on my list?
You're down to
Okay.
resignation.
So resignations, funny, Andrew Graham, the deputy building inspector that we hired last month is moving.
Yeah, he accepted a job in Jersey City, and he was gonna come back on weekends for Hopewat, but, you know, he's like young, he's like, I don't know.
But we don't need them that often. Why can't you just keep the job and it's only when there's a conflict, right?
It didn't make sense though for him to come.
From Jersey City?
To Hopewat for like one inspection a month, like.
It's $250. Think
Yeah.
about his travel.
No, I'm just thinking it's not that often. I mean, really, I mean.
It's all dependent, I mean, at this point, it hasn't been, we haven't had to use them that much.
Right, that's what I'm
But,
thinking.
Well,
Yeah,
he
just
was
the
offered
travel.
to stay on and come on weekends, and he kind of wasn't
Yeah.
interested. But Mike found somebody else.
Okay, good.
So Mike found a new hire. His name's Robert Serrano, and he's a building inspector at Brookhaven. Mike interviewed him.
Yep, and I'm gonna onboard him Monday.
Are you gonna send us the resume?
Yeah, I can send it to you. I mean, it's just the Brookhaven and New York State code certification.
Mike already interviewed him and was
But,
pretty
yeah.
down with him,
Yeah, I
so
would send out the resume like we have to do for everybody else.
sounds good. And then we have
Could you include the name when you send it?
Yeah.
Please.
we have
I'll do all this stuff when I make it in there.
Rosalie Amron. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's going to be our new office assistant. Jess interviewed her, really sweet girl. She's going to be coming in as an office assistant. My only question with this one is, as far as you had circulated a salary.
Yes, then she agreed to that salary and we can save money.
She'll
Well-
be making less than her deputy.
That's irrelevant. Her experience is limited and she's
I mean,
okay
if
with
she
that. And
wants to
if, you
take
know
that,
what,
that's
after the
fine.
first year, we can always go up in salary, but there's no reason not to,
I mean,
she's
if
she's
she's
happy
willing
with
to
it.
take
She
that.
understands it. I know you gave her a different salary.
Yeah,
I said to
because
her,
we-
that is incorrect. And she said, okay, that's what I thought.
Well, the way
But-
it works is we've always typically started somebody for at $2 an hour less than, well, their office assistant, right? Because they train for 3 months usually before they're appointed, because that's different. And they train at $2 less an hour than whatever position they're taking over. And then, like, say I get a raise in June, like she wouldn't necessarily go to that rate, but she'd go to what I was at now.
Well, she actually accepted the job at 21. And I'm it's like, well, maybe that's a little too low. And then
I mean-
that's when we negotiated and we got to 23.
I mean,
So
if she
I
wants
say
to
we
be
do
the
that.
lowest paid employee in the village,
Yes.
that's fine.
That should fine, exactly. So she's gonna do that, and then again, we can always make an adjustment to the following year, and once she gets the experience and.
Okay,
always for that.
so then 23 it is.
Okay.
All right, was there anything else as far as resignations? Because I know that you guys were circulating emails,
So,
so.
but, yeah, but I do have one question for her, like, does she get, like, the offer, like, did she offer the job? Like, there's been no communication?
Well,
But-
no, I actually
but-
spoke to her
but
today,
today?
and she
Oh,
said
okay,
that she
'cause I didn't
talked
talk
to you
to her.
already, so the way it works is usually the clerk meets with them, interviews with them, and then we would have them come back and do an application,
Okay, she doesn't do all
all their yeah,
that, okay.
usually before she's officially hired,
Okay.
we do that. And then it would go to like the next month's agenda, you know, so
We're
even
not
if
gonna,
somebody
we're not gonna
starts-
wait another month.
No, I'm not saying you should wait another month, but say somebody has to start Monday, you could do a resolution, and that's.
A
Okay, so
retroactive-
Here's my question is, we've had this conversation that these people need to be trained, and then you have all this
Yeah.
stuff that you have to train them on. So now we've decided that this person is gonna be hired, we have her salary, have her come Monday, do the
I already
application.
talked to her, she's coming Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay, so we can approve, she can start training when? That's it.
Monday,
Oh, she's gonna start training Monday?
she's starting
Oh.
Monday,
Okay. I
and
didn't-
having her do her application
At the
everything
same
Monday
time?
morning.
Okay, great.
Since
That's
there wasn't
Monday.
really time to get it done in between.
So we're
Okay.
adding that as a resolution to them?
It's, she's on it already.
Oh, she is, okay. I'm sorry.
Mhm, I just didn't have the dollar amount.
Okay, good.
So, then the last thing, do we have anything else? Well, as far as resignations, we were talking about, you guys were talking about stormwater. I did not receive a formal resignation from Rich.
No, I haven't either.
So,
But so right now is, and I think I wasn't I didn't respond to your email today because you said it was on the agenda.
right,
No, I think that's a question that's still up in the air, right, based on the email that he sent you, right?
Mhm.
And, or the three of us that I circulated, that I think, but that has to be a consideration, right? Because the budget's not on here, so I don't know what that,
well,
if we had to
you
do
have
that
the
today.
The
information.
public hearings tonight.
Yeah,
the budget.
the budget's,
Okay.
the
'Cause
public hearing's on.
I asked about the budget, which I didn't get an answer from email about again. And so I think,
What is the question you
I
asked?
think the question is, do we have to approve it today?
No, so the
Yes.
answer-
Nobody did.
Excuse me for a
Well, you
second.
approved
Hold
it
on.
in the last month.
You have until April 30th to approve the budget.
Okay.
You have to have the hearing tonight, but you don't have to approve the budget tonight. You can, the answer is that,
Because the hearing has to be before the approval of it.
But if we don't approve it tonight, we have to have a special meeting to approve it.
yes. And you have to be very careful because if you do not approve it by April 30th, then whatever you have as your tentative budget automatically becomes your budget, even if you don't vote on it.
Okay, so I think that's the question, is based on some concerns that we've had, or some of us have had about the expense of the tennis court,
Mhm.
and the concern that there are other things that we should not be taking from the reserve, the sinkhole being a great prime example of things that we don't know might come. I don't know if personally, I don't know if I'm comfortable with the way the budget is, based on the fact that if Rich does resign, we're talking a $50,000 bill or whatever he said in his email
But we're
to
not,
replace him.
but we're not, because Jeremy already,
We got quoted for, I mean, unless there's something that I don't know about. I mean, the Oldfield, the guy that they use, they did $6,000 to do the stormwater management and the MS4 for the year.
I'm also not, I'm
So
also,
But I'm also
Again,
not,
I
like,
don't
we
know
haven't
what
again
else
looked at
he's
exactly what this guy's
including, but-
doing compared to, I guess, what Rich is doing. Or
he
what-
sent a whole list.
Yeah, it's.
I'm not,
Yeah.
listen, this here, let me just be
I'm not-
clear with this. I don't want Rich to leave. He's a huge valuable asset.
Mhm.
But based on him saying that he might have to, we have to plan for it.
Yes,
But if we have a quote for somebody who's doing the stormwater management for $6,000 and we don't have a resignation, to revisit the budget based on a supposition doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm not comfortable with the way, I don't know if I'm comfortable with approving the tennis court for $80,000. I gotta tell you.
It's,
But the
After
tennis
re-
court was approved
After
already.
re-looking
Yeah.
at it, after re-looking at it and looking at the budget and the money we're taking out of reserve, particularly because things have come up
We're not
since then.
taking anything out
We're
of the
taking
reserve.
$30,000 out of the reserve for the tennis
no,
court.
that's when it was 80,000, it's not 80,000. It's 64.5 or
Yeah,
64
this is
now.
Yeah.
what we-
This is,
Ray told me it's $80,000 based on the
No,
information
we're
we
not.
have.
50 that was approved,
Hold on.
you said years ago.
hang on. It was like 64,000 in the last budget. That was-
yeah, and we approved it last month.
But things have changed.
Resolution.
What has
awarding
changed, though?
bid
The
to
changes is that
Laurel for
if there could be
69.5.
additional expenses of that, so 70 instead of 80.
Right, but let me just be clear with this, because I think there's some confusion. The tennis court is part of this year's budget. It has nothing to do with the reserve of next year's budget. Your reserve for next year's budget is already set. The tennis court is happening now in this year's budget. So it has no impact on next year's budget. It has no impact on Rich resigning or not. It has no impact at all.
It has impact in the fact that we're taking reserve money for the tennis court when we actually might need it to actually just run the village next year.
We are at the highest point we've been. We have $150,000. What? $181,000. That's the highest reserve we have had, not including the amount. The next administration.
No, 180 is, and then we're taking away, came up
We're not
with,
taking away
we came up with the
30,000 from
reserve, when we
181.
had the budget meeting, the reserve, after all the stuff was done for next year was 120,000. That's what we agreed
No,
to.
right now, the reserve on top of the 30,000 is 181.
But that's not what happened at the budget meeting. The budget meeting, we were talking about $120,000, not going below.
Well, we were like throwing around some numbers. We did not settle on $120,000 as the reserve. We were talking about different things.
And that's what the reserve is for, though, Darlene.
That's when we were
The
talking
reserve is
about
for,
what
not to put a tennis court in, the reserve is for things like the sinkhole.
The tennis court
well,
needs
the
to
chips
be
is
repaired.
the same.
I'm not disagreeing with that, I'm just not thinking, no.
Well, we have a bit of an issue because we did approve the tennis court last month. I did sign the contract, and to be honest, I'm in complete disagreement with you. I think that the tennis court is at this point, it's a liability. It's not in good shape. We're gonna have to close it. It is an asset. It is an asset to this village on two levels. One, it's an asset because it increases property values, because having a tennis court is a big sell. Number two, there's a lot of residents that really like it. I got 2 more emails in the last month about when's the tennis court going to be
Why we
done.
don't see those emails? How come we're not?
Because they were
You're
sent
not-
to me.
So why are you not sharing them with us and saying, listen, we have,
Well, I'm telling you
having-
now.
but that, I don't know if that's, is it? And then
I don't
that's-
send, Darlene, I don't send everybody every
We
email I
understand
get.
that. We are very well aware of that. So I think that is part of the problem is it's now, we've had side conversations, we've had conversations about the tennis court, and yet we don't have really the same information you do.
But
about
there
trying
was
to
people,
figure
we
that out.
discussed this last month, the PCA was gonna fundraise. There were people posting on Facebook. There's been people complaining about that tennis court for years. This is not a new discussion. Because I got 2 emails in the last month does not mean that the tennis court has not been an issue that we have been discussing for years. We've been discussing it for years. We've been earmarking money. We are at the point where we are at the highest reserve that we've been in 10 years, and we're going to shortchange our residents by not giving them the tennis court. It's a capital improvement that I feel really strongly there's no reason not to do it. The White Pine, the things that have come up that you brought up in your email, White Pine sinkhole covered by chips, Rich Parrish's salary, if he does resign, which we don't want him to, but if he does, we've got $6,000. We have enough money in our reserve to cover those. Why would we shortchange our residents and not give them the tennis court? That's what the reserve is for. The reserve is for when you have to do something. It's the same thing as the sinkhole or road repair. It's in bad shape, and we have the money to fix it. Why would we not? Why are we going to hoard the reserve in case of something when we have enough? I don't understand. I feel really strongly that the tennis court should get done. I mean, I'm sorry to be emphatic, but we've been circling around this tennis court for 3 months. I just don't understand the reason why you're so opposed.
I'm opposed from taking out money from the reserve for the tennis court if we believe that there will be there's other expenses down the line that we're not even thinking of. That's
But we took money out of the reserve to do other capital projects in the past. We took money out of the reserve to do the dock. Took money out of, we've taken, was a bond and.
Or a bond, right.
Right, it was a bond and we took out of the reserve to do it.
I wasn't here then, I can't tell you that. I don't know that.
Well, you know what, I don't want to argue about it. My feeling is we're either not doing the tennis court, we're locking it up, but I think it's a disservice to our residents to lock it up and say, we have the money, but we're not going to do it. Because we're thinking something might happen in the future. We don't know what that is, but we're just gonna not do anything. I mean, you have, if the reserve was $20,000, I would agree with you. If the reserve was at a middle range, but it's high. We have the money to do it. We've been talking about it for 3 years. When are we gonna do it? You know, I mean, I feel pretty strongly about it. I don't know how anybody else feels, but obviously you and I don't agree, so we're gonna have to.
The $30,000 that is coming from the reserve was already assigned in this current year's budget. So the 181 doesn't include that. That it's already assigned in this current year's budget.
I mean, do you want me to give you the reserves, the annual reserves, the numbers over the last 10 years and what this reserve is going to be into the next budget? Would that make you feel better about it? So, I mean,
We're expecting potentially more at the end of the year, or do you think it's going to be still 181?
I wouldn't, conservatively, no, I think we're good.
Okay.
I feel really strongly about it. We could put it to a vote. If you guys say you don't, we'll just lock it up and call it a day. I'm not going to be mayor
Why don't
anymore.
we do the public hearing for the budget first? Why don't we do that?
But this is.
This is the public
the
hearing.
The budget.
This is this year.
This year.
Oh, okay.
It has nothing to do with next year's budget.
The 26, 27.
It's in 25, 26.
26.
Yeah.
It's not in 20, it'll be done by then. Supposedly.
Thoughts? I'm sorry.
No, I have no further thoughts. Let's put it that way. No further thoughts. Because you're telling me that it was already budgeted for last year. In 25.
It's been,
Yes, it's part of this budget.
Is there a reason we didn't do it in 25?
because it was the winter time.
No, it wasn't. If the budget gets approved in June, we didn't do it last summer, we waited.
Well, it was, when we did the reallocations, we pulled some stuff from things that were under budget, and so we found money in other areas, and then Treasure Castle, which was assigned when the 2025-26 budget was approved. That was already assigned, so that's taken out of the unassigned fund balance.
How does everybody else feel about it? Well, you obviously, Darlene and I don't agree, but how does everybody else feel about it?
I think that it should be done. I think that there are noticeable areas of that tennis court that are an issue. And I think that if someone gets hurt, that's a bigger issue. And I think that, either fix it or padlock it. And I think fix it's the better option, personally.
Right?
I expressed my feelings about it. I don't 100% agree with it, but if there's nothing that we can do about it now, then I get that. But
Look, I'm not trying to strong arm anybody. I just feel really strongly about it. And I think we have to just vote on it. And
There's nothing to vote on. We, like you said, we already voted on it.
we
The budget
did,
was already done from last year, so there's
but I'm
nothing to
not,
vote on.
I'm not trying to, I'm not, if it is, it's just you and I who are disagreeing. So we have to vote on it.
No, we don't have to vote on it because we've already voted on it. We've agreed. Because I do agree, as I said last month, I do agree that something should be done with the tennis court. My concern now becomes is that it's a $70,000 expense, right? We took money out of the reserve and these things now came up to light of, are we going to have problems going forward? You're telling me no, because we have more money than we've ever had.
Well, listen,
So-
the whole world could collapse, but that's not an argument that that I would feel comfortable as mayor going around and saying, well, we're not going to do it because we're waiting to see if there's a natural disaster. We are in good shape. We are, I mean, you've seen the budget for over the last years. The reserve is
The reserve is higher
Okay.
than it.
and we've gone through this we had this discussion and we all agreed that we're raising taxes and it's a nice thing. We talked about the tennis court when we did our budget meeting and we all agreed it's a nice thing to give the residents something to show for the fact that we're raising their taxes. I agree with that.
I do agree with that.
So
For some reason, I don't know why I'm thinking it's in this coming budget
You
and
gotta
not last
remember,
year.
you just really remember that the sinkhole can be covered by chips. It's not gonna.
Right, well, I didn't know that until tonight.
Yeah, so
No,
that's
it's
really
not.
important.
Yeah, that information was not shared until tonight. So again, like, we have information that we didn't have that information. So now I'm thinking there's another $30,000, $40,000 coming out of reserve, right? To fix the street. Now we're realizing that that's not the case.
Yeah.
No, for the most part, anything with roads is reimbursable. I mean, even the speed humps, the speed sign was all reimbursed by CHIPS. Anything beyond regular maintenance, you can, assume, obviously you have to apply and get reimbursed and things like that, but for the most part, they cover anything kind of quote unquote highway work.
Okay,
And this is kind of the sinkhole is a last several days kind of emergency thing, so it's a little.
And there's always emergencies.
Scramble to
There's always emergencies. We just went
Yeah.
through the whole thing with FEMA. There's always gonna be something, but we move on and try to maintain our common spaces to the residents' liking as long as it's sensible. And in this particular instance, I do think it's sensible. All right?
get-
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so then
Bids.
we got bids, and also Jeff is here to speak about the end of Chestnut, it's something the planning board's gonna.
All right, let's finish up with the playground mulch and then we'll do the public comments
So for
first.
bids, we had two. One was mulch for the playgrounds, and then I also think, Ray, did you get quotes for the boat ramp?
I did it because of everything that was going on.
Okay.
I figured
All right, so we
we're
can
off
always
on
do
that,
next
but
one.
Yeah, that's
Or
fine.
next one, you want, or? think one answer?
yeah, I can work
Just
on
see.
it next month.
Okay, so, trustees park has absolutely no mulch or anything up in the playground. Jeremy, I don't know, I'm guessing you would know California, but I think it's pretty bad.
no, California bid.
So we received two quotes, one from Transforming, one from Leo and Camilla's. Transforming Solutions only provided quote for like natural wood mulch. And their cost came to $3,400. And then Leo and Camilla provided
What was that?
3,400. That would be for 40 cubic yards installed at both parks. And then Leo and Camilla's provided both fiberfill and regular wood mulch. And they came in at $7,280 for Trustees Park for the wood mulch and $25,000 for the fiberfill. That would obviously include the landscape fabric and all of that. And then
We have fiberfill now, right?
We have
I
five
think
At
at
California,
California,
we
do.
Trustees had like
Trustees has mulch.
mulch and wood.
Yeah.
And then, for the California, the fiber fill would be, $6,640, and the natural mulch would be $2,100.
So Transforming Solutions came in with 3,400 for everything?
Yeah, you charge us $85 a cubic yard for natural wood mulch.
But
That
then
would
we'd have to
include the
pull out
mulch.
all the fiber fill from California.
You can't go over it?
I don't know if you can mix it.
You can't?
I don't know.
So
I'm not, I don't know.
it says
You
supply
can
and
do, I guess,
install.
whatever you want, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
When
I
was
guess-
the California project done?
3
When
years
they
ago,
redid the playground with the
21?
mulch?
No, longer than that.
No,
No, they
'cause
did
we-
it under Chris Schneider, I
Yep.
think, like.
20
Chris
it was-
4 years ago?
2020.
No, it hasn't been
No.
past 2020.
Yeah.
It was 20, we
Two.
did it was
21, 22.
after coronavirus, it was 21.
Yeah.
Is that like a
21.
normal time frame for that stuff to last?
So I don't know the last.
I don't know, 'cause I don't think we had Honestly, I
I
don't think we had ever done it before. I think we always did mulch, but we got that windfall from ARPA that paid for the playground, and Chris was able to acquire that. I don't know if you were on the board, but he had the ARPA money. You were on the board when we
No,
were still
Chris.
spending but when we were still spending the second half, because ARPA came in and he got like $120,000, and he and Dee
Who's
worked
that?
together. Chris Schleider.
Oh, I think, who's offer?
ARPA is the
recovery
recovery
fund
fund
for
for COVID.
Oh,
And him and Dee worked together on the playground for California. And they went with the fiber fill because we had the
I
money,
had the money.
I
right?
think usually.
It looks
I've
nice, it
seen
looks
other
good too,
parks,
it
It
looks
looks
nice.
great, I love it, but it's,
I don't
they
think
don't
we-
even,
They'll come back after a year or so and they'll like top it off,
So we
but
can't
we
do that
haven't. We can, but we can top it off, we can add, but I think the point was that Transforming isn't offering
No,
fiber. They just want to do all natural, so we have fiber down, we'd have
we didn't
to,
want to provide a quote. for it.
yeah, we have to
The
clear.
wood mulch obviously isn't as sustainable as the fiber,
No.
so we'll have to do the mulch more often with the wood,
Yeah.
right? So now it's like
Well,
30.
The
The
mulch here,
trustees.
though, the trustees mulch has been there.
So bad, and you
No,
have
no, but I'm
not
saying,
done
it's not,
that.
do we do it every year?
No?
No, so
I
that's
haven't
what,
done
that, it
it
might
since-
last, might
We-
not last
that-
that long, but it might
that-
last.
We
few
actually
years.
mulched that, and I don't quote me on it, but I think we mulched that at the same time that we did the other playground with the fiber
It's
fill,
been before I-
because we had to give them something, right? Because they had nothing, so I think we mulched that at the same time. So, I mean, I think the mulch definitely isn't gonna last, the fiber fill is definitely better, you know? But I would go for the mulch.
Mhm.
The only question is then what do you do at California? Because I don't know.
I would, we would have to, you'd have to go
Take
back
out
out.
the fiber fill?
I think we have to find out if the fiber fill needs to come out, and I'm guessing it probably does. Does it? I don't know. I don't know
if
anything
you can
about
just
it.
mix it.
Why-
I don't know why there would be a problem with mixing it.
Yeah, I think
Mixing
mulch.
mulch and fiber fill?
Yeah, I don't think there's an issue with actually mixing them.
Do you
I don't
want,
think it has to come out, I just think that I think if it's the other way around, the real mulch would have to come out if you ever wanted to go back to all fiber fill. Then the real mulch would have to come out.
I mean, do we want to call transforming and do we want to
Follow
find
up
out?
with them and
Or find out what
Or,
needs to be done? I could chat GPT it right now and see what the deal is.
Yeah.
Transform means how much?
So
34 for everything.
34
He
for
wouldn't
both.
provide a quote for the fiber fill. But I mean, you could also like, so I got measurements for the park and then, said, I mean, Jeremy's not familiar with California Park. We assumed 3 inches deep. You would need, like, this definitely needs 3 inch deep, like, no matter what. But I don't know if California, maybe you
You
could
could
just
you might be able to get away with 2. I mean, if the price for
Because,
2 inches
you know,
was
like
reasonable,
California-
but
for California, Leon Mill is, they quoted the landscape fabric, like redoing the entire thing. I wonder.
You can mix fiber fill with mulch, but it's usually not a good idea. And in most cases, you shouldn't. There's our answer.
Okay.
But I almost wonder if you could just get like from
ChatGPT.
Leon.
Love
Mill-
ChatGPT.
Straighten us out.
So here's my question. So if we have mulch here, we're not gonna go fiber fill here, right? So we already know that. The question is are we gonna do fiber fill for California Park or are we gonna do mulch?
Well, that's
We-
what I was saying.
Yeah.
We have maybe Leon Camillus just top off the fiber fill there instead of doing like 3 layers, fixing all the lines.
Yeah, and they gave us a price for $66.40 to do that.
To do the whole thing. Yeah, that's.
but if we
including, like,
just
the
do,
That's-
if we do just the fill, and that's at 3 inches, so if we reduce it down to 2 inches,
And top it
Oh,
we
off.
no.
could
do this.
reduce, yeah, we don't do this, and leave the mesh that we have. We could potentially, I think what you're saying is potentially use that number as a base, but then reduce it and do only 2 inches.
And then just
And
remulch.
see, or we could at
trustees.
least ask, and
Okay, here's my question. This says, it's $42.80 for, say, 3 inches,
Yeah.
right? Say it's a little bit less now,
Yeah.
too. But then we have to pay labor for someone to put it down. Like, you have to pay the labor
Yeah.
separate. Yeah, so like, this
So
isn't
paying
include
this anyway.
labor.
Yeah, yeah. I see
Unless
what
you
you're
wanna go
saying.
out there with a rake.
So he's
Me and you
assuming-
breaking it.
To,
But I'm, you know,
to save us $1,800, I
Yeah.
would. I'll take my kids out
I
there and do a
think-
couple of
Yeah.
rakes and I'll
Not
build
if-
mulch.
Easy pursue too is, maybe just getting dumped and having Dave.
I think what
but it's
we,
$6,000, it's like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
I
what
know,
are you
it's a-
saving?
I think we
Yeah.
should,
Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah.
$6,000.
It's $6,000 if they say if they drop it and put it down, right? And you don't change the fabric. The fabric's nothing, the fabric's $220,
Yeah, you're
right?
saying.
This is what you're saving.
$2,400.
So you go, I think you're gonna go with the 66.40. Like you said, maybe we get a price for 2 inches, maybe it goes down to 5,000. What's
But
our
is
budget
that for both
California
parks?
Park? What's our
So
budget
that's
for
just for
California Park?
California Park for fiber fill.
What's our budget for California Park? And what have we spent so far in California Park? That's really the question.
So the mulch fiber fill, they're never, necessarily budgeted for. Hang on, I got
This
them.
year.
For this year,
The budget
we're
for-
at, we're actually, for supplies and services for California Park, we're at $3,021 spending and our budget is $7,000.
We have
So we're
$4,000.
only, you have, about $4,000. Some of that goes to like sprinkler repairs.
What
turn
about,
on the
what about the dock?
sprinklers.
Because we haven't, we
Dock,
approved the dock. We just resurfaced the top of the dock.
doing
We just
the-
approved
And
that
that didn't
too.
get paid yet.
No,
Okay.
so we're gonna be over.
Yeah, that, I'm trying to think what else, that's what the water bills that the county comes out of, things like that. So, I mean, it will get some of that 4,000. is not just-
I think what we should do is just plan on mulch for just trustees, because that's what we've always done. Just mulch trustees and ask them to go back and look at it for like
Just get
a
price for
coating
2-inch.
to
Yeah.
topping it off.
I mean, you're gonna need at least 2 inches.
So
You're gonna need
that's
2 inches, 'cause
Two different
have you seen
companies
it? Like
now.
it's.
Right.
Yeah, so you need 2
Transforming
inches.
for the, see what, go back to transforming and
did look
ask them
at,
how much it is just to do the
I
mulch
was
at,
looking
at,
some
at
It would be,
playground.
I can tell you right now.
Kind of like we have on this one, putting those like rubberized mats under the swings
Oh,
to prevent
Oh,
from
yeah.
tearing up the
The
fiber.
fiber,
Yeah,
right.
because it got torn up down
yeah,
there.
because
so we
I
had to
ripped
cut some
pieces
back.
off of it.
Yeah, I cut some back because
Yeah.
it was like a trip hazard.
And
for kids
down
swimming,
to,
so-
if you're splitting the deal here and you're doing the top.
Make
and
it sound like we're really hustling them, huh?
We're gonna, if you do that, they could always dump the fiber fill and have Dave rake it out if it's just one, right? Can't you? do
We
that?
could have Dave definitely, we could definitely
'Cause
dump
if
the
the
fiber
mulch is
fill
gonna
and
get
have,
installed on the one
I
and
think-
done, then that's done, and that shouldn't be too big of a project if it's only 2 inches of it at the one thing dumped off and save money that way.
I mean, I think the fiber fill's nice. I think the kids, I mean, a lot of kids.
Well,
play
that's-
down there
and
use it,
that's
so it's
really
a nice
the park.
Like
Yes,
cushioning,
cushioning.
but I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
we don't want to pay. double
why don't we see what it
price
costs
for
to
it,
just dump
so-
some
Well, you
fiber
know
fill
what we have?
and see
Yeah.
if we can get Dave to do it.
Now we're gonna
And
take it
just
out,
have
now
this
it's gonna
company
$1,000
dump
to take it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Or you want to,
Right,
Yeah, we're
so in
gonna,
2
like-
years, we
What are you
can
gonna
put it
quote
back
it out
down.
again to
Cost,
somebody
yeah, I
else?
know.
I
Who did you do it?
Stay with it.
so I sent out a few requests, but it's Leo and Camilla's.
Right, that's our landscaper.
Yep, and then we have, Transforming.
What about Wood Kingdom? Because that's who we used for the fiber fill last time.
I didn't ask them, but I can ask them.
I was gonna ask who we use.
We used Wood Kingdom.
Yeah, I can reach out to them and see too and let you know.
I think we should just commit to let's, well, he has to give us a revised number.
For
For
transforming, he
tran-
charged us per yard and that's what he just always does, is charges us per yard. So if he did just trustees, it would be around 2,231.
I think we should approve
300.
2,300 and get it going at trustees, get that done. And then let's get some more quotes for the fiber fill for California.
I agree,
Okay.
Okay.
because I said to him, if we have to take the fiber fill out, you gotta pay for that.
Yeah.
What do we get, that's,
I agree.
Such nice stuff to, like-
It is nice.
If
I
you could
think-
put- If you could
So
put
much
mulch over it, it would have been fine, but taking it out's a little bit of a.
No
complicated
tennis
project.
court net. All right? No tennis court net. All right?
I don't know,
Wow.
maybe the PCA will
What
bet.
What a bargain, Tina, that was.
Okay, but we're painting the lines for the,
We're paving the lines to the
For the
pickleball.
pickleball.
Yes.
Not anymore, you just put mulch.
All right, let's,
Not anymore. you
all right,
just put
let's,
mulch.
do we need to do executive session? Oh, can we let Jeff do his public, because he's here and
Yeah.
he's the only one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna, can I
He's suffering through
can
this
I
for
pause
quite
it?
some
Can I
I don't know
adjourn
if it's
this?
gonna be this long when I-
Let him do his, okay. So motion to adjourn the work session at
7:42.
7:42. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion to temporarily open the business session at 7:42. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public comments? Hi, Jeff.
Jeff?
First of all, I forgot what I came here for.
Sorry. We have a tendency to do that.
Anyway, as member of the planning board, subsequent to our Monday meeting, there was information that we felt should be passed along, and in one small case, it would require your acting because of a small expenditure.
Okay.
We just got another application for a subdivision, small, at the end of Walnut. And it doesn't have any outstanding issues, but I did want to point out that that land, and you may not be aware of this, the turnaround at the end of Walnut, the beach, is not all of our land. And if you stand down, you'll see The private property is a straight line, you turn around, goes out. And at its widest, it's probably about almost 15 feet, something between 10 and 15. That is part of that private property, and we just use it, it's paved, it looks like a road. So, but the attorney that was in the room said that maybe we could work something out, so we don't want to lose that. And the fact is that that's a kind of a tight turn anyway, and a good number of years ago, Rich and Mike and I kind of walked that area as we were kind of looking at shoreline hardening. And we really felt like at the time that we had very limited options because you have the swamp on the one side and private property on the other side. Anyway, long story short, we're going to probably be able to work it out, if not have the property deeded over or to have some
To the
legal
village?
thing.
Yeah,
And I said we would wink, be very appreciative of
That's
that.
great.
So that would be a good thing if it happens. The main thing, however, legally it's resolved. Our turnaround won't be affected. So that part of it was good. However, the timing on this, along with it being now springtime where we expect the construction on the other property at the end of Chestnut, there's going to be a lot of action down at that end of Walnut and Chestnut. And mostly, probably all of you were at the meeting, the combined meeting that we had at the firehouse a couple months ago.
Mhm.
And we started talking about this informally. We like to think that we're a unique municipality, and one of the unique things that we have, that probably nobody else in the country has, is part of a one-way street. Chestnut Avenue at the bottom has a sign that says one way. If you're on Walnut and you see the sign, and it's not a one way, but the sign says one way. And our garbage trucks go up that way. So 3 times a week we have a truck going up there. Most people, if they even notice the sign, ignore it, myself included. But we think, and Chris and I were talking about this after our meeting ended, how did that ever happen? And we both agreed, probably Joe Newfield is anyone who can answer that, because I've lived on Chestnut in 2 different houses since 1972. And that sign has been there. I don't remember it not being there. So it's probably because this dog ear in that steep part of the hill, there's also a sharp turn. You can't see the traffic coming down. And a number of times when I've walked my dog, I had to leave out of the way because people do fly down. So going up the road, they said, don't go there, and put a sign there. So anyway, long story short, what we'd like to do, and it was a consensus at our meeting, is that, number one, take that sign down as the construction starts.
The one-way sign?
The one-way sign. No, it does nothing. Now, Joe is suggesting that we check with DOT, because on some lists somewhere, it may be listed as a one-way.
We have to check with code enforcement too.
I made a couple of calls. I couldn't get anywhere. I switched around. The first question that everybody asked me whenever I did get somebody to answer the phone is it a state road? And I said, no, it's a small village, whatever. And they said, well, you have to call this one and that one. And I got the runaround. And it's not, the more I thought about it, the less likely it is it's officially a one-way street. Because obviously, for the rest of Chestnut, that's not the case.
Mhm.
And in fact, I had mentioned this at our meeting. We're here long enough, I'll just tell you. Me of all people, I was trying to leave, and there was a guy blocking Chestnut. And it was after the snowstorm, so the road was plowed, but you lose a little bit. And it was blocking the road, and he just was sitting there. So I I didn't know what it was. And I said, can you move up so I can get around you? I was in my little car. He wouldn't move. And I thought that it was like, we're gonna have a situation there. And anyway, somebody came out and he got in the car. He went by and he says, so one way. He wouldn't let me go out because he's not a resident, but he must have seen that one-way sign. So it's one more thing where I said, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. And yes, we are unique in a bad way because nobody else would ever put up with it. What we would probably want to do is have nothing there during the construction and then put another sign that says caution two-way traffic.
And make it a
Slow.
two-way street.
It is a two-way street. Just that is a two-way street. From all the way to the top this way to all the way down that way. It's a two-way street.
Okay.
That sign was probably put there for that dog use, just to be careful. And ideally, not that I would like to see it from my driveway, but to have a sign at the top saying caution or slow two-way street. Because people, I can't tell you how often I see cars coming to a stop, looking
Down.
There's a fork in the road. Which way is the road? This way is the road. This can't be a road. And then they do a 3-point turn and they go back because nobody can believe it's a road. But the people who are familiar with it, especially the delivery trucks, they go flying down.
Mm-hmm.
So not that a sign is going to stop everybody. To me, it's a question of insurance coverage. Somebody might say, we have a dangerous situation there and what are we doing about it? And chances are it has something to do with the original placement of that one-way sign. So it's up to you guys to kick it around and decide what you want to do about it. But from our standpoint, especially with the amount of activity that's going to be going on there, both of those jobs are going to require excavation.
Mm-hmm.
The excavation requires dump trucks. Keith had his trucks at the bottom when he did the other property, but it was coming up Chestnut Road. It really affects that whole section of road. So short term, have somebody take down the sign or take off the sign, the pole. It's in a bad place. You don't ever see it. I don't know if any of you are unaware of it because we've all been down that. Get rid of the one way. We get the construction started. It's going to be chaotic, probably. But to plan on buying and installing and maybe having a group conference about where's the best place to put these signs, because it is dangerous. Like I said, I've had cars flying at me when I'd have to pull my dog out of the road and there's no way to go.
Mhm.
The road it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't think we should, if we take the sign off, I think we shouldn't wait to put a sign that says two-way traffic at the top, because I think that is a safety problem.
I think if we're gonna take it down, we have to do the signs immediately.
Yeah,
I
I
agree
do.
with you, but
yeah,
I do
the
think,
danger is, I noticed this just walking over here, the sign is bent. And I
That's
don't,
that's from the garbage truck, because they've done the same sign on New
Street.
Street and Chestnut.
so
they're
Jeff,
going up the street, they're not going down, the thing is bent in towards the street. Anyway. it doesn't matter when you do it.
the real person that needs to weigh in on this is Frank. I do think, unless Dave has something to say, because I do think that there are issues with that. I don't know 100%, but I think there are definitely issues for sure when it snows and cars going up and down. It may be a little bit of a more nuanced scenario why it's that way, but I'm not opposed to looking into it at all. And if our code enforcement is on board and thinks it would be a safe thing to do what you're proposing, especially with construction, I mean, I think we should, if code says that they see no safety issue with it, I'm not opposed to it. I do think what Darlene said, which is we'd have to do the signs right away because we're changing the traffic pattern, especially in a place where everyone thinks it's a one-way up to a certain point. So
In
we'll
theory,
talk.
I agree with you. The reality is the sign is useless because people go up the street anyway. So, if you want to.
No, we're saying if we remove the one-way street sign.
Yeah.
I don't think we're saying if we remove that, we need to replace it with the signs that you recommended that say two-way
Yeah.
traffic. We shouldn't wait until because the house could take 2 years to subdivision,
Yes.
right? So we shouldn't wait 2
do that,
years for that.
I totally agree with that, except because of the damage to the signs, we're gonna be, you're risking having that sign nicked.
I'd rather
do that than
worry,
get hurt.
right, exactly. I'd rather worry
Yeah,
about a
replace it.
damaged sign than.
Arguing over.
Yeah. And
So we'll
replace
talk
it
to,
with
we'll talk to code enforcement about it and see where they weigh in. And thanks for bringing it to our attention.
And then the only the second thing is, that maybe and this is just something I thought about while I've been sitting here, to have some kind of a way of not having us.
A long board
communication between the two boards, so that we don't have to be a guest at the end.
That is something that
plan.
we have, we've been talking about that. We're talking about having, we're thinking that that this board should have more interaction with both the planning board and the ZBA, participation, reporting. We have a silly report we read that just announces what you guys met over, but we are definitely considering that. I think we're all on the same page with that we feel we want to have someone at the meetings. If it's, if we assign someone and maybe you guys do the same with us, it would be great. I think that's a great idea. And we've been discussing it for a while.
The issue is, from my standpoint, the issue is that, your meetings cover a lot of ground, and there's a lot of back and forth, so it turns into a much longer meeting, whereas most of the communications should be for your information.
Right.
We
That's
can
correct.
always have dialogue, that's the easy part, but on a routine basis to have, you filled in on some of the issues that come across the planning board. And really, this is kind of new stuff, because for a long time, the planning board was inactive and inert. So it's just something to think about.
All right, thank you. Thanks. All right, any more public comments? Good night, Jeff. Thanks for coming.
Take care.
Okay, motion to close the business session temporarily and at what time?
7:50.
And reopen the work session so we can go into executive session. Motion to go into executive session, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Joe, you better make this fast.
He has to make it fast.
So let's use the clock.
Good.
All right, motion to close executive session at, is that right?
26.
8:26, so moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Right before I came.
Motion to resume the business session at 8:26, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Should we do our pledge of allegiance?
yeah, let's do the
Oh.
pledge. Let's get it
I
going.
don't smoke this thing, keep standing.
Oh, we're up.
Ready? And go.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, announcements. 2026 village election will take place on Tuesday, June 16th. There will be 2 four-year trustee positions and 1 four-year mayor position. Nominating petitions are available at Village Hall and due by 5 p.m. on May 12th. The village is requesting that anyone interested in being an elected inspector that day contact Village Hall as soon as possible. Village road paving of Silver Beach Court, Harrison Street, and Singing Wood from Washington to China is scheduled for 4/20 and 4/21 with rain dates of 4/23 and 4/24. Road closures will be posted by the town of Brookhaven. The Poquak Community Association is hosting its second annual Village 5K Walk Run on May 31st at 9 a.m. Residents and their friends and family are encouraged to participate. Please contact Poquak Community Association at Gmail for more information. We already did public comments, board updates. The planning board met on April 13th, 2026 for a continuation of public hearing from the dock application for 9 Chestnut. The zoning board of appeals did not meet in March and there is no meeting scheduled for April. Forthcoming schedule will be available online. Court report, Darlene?
Total cases open for March was 3, and total cases closed was 2. We collected $100 for a parking violation.
All right, thank you.
To date, we collected $7,655.
Thank you.
We collected, I thought we collected more than that. Is that what it was? It was $100?
Yeah, that's what she stated. And that's what the check says.
Yeah, I think that's a check.
I think 2 people paid, and I think each one was $100. So I'll look into that.
Okay.
You guys can know.
Treasurer's report?
I can email it tomorrow, put you on it.
Please.
Okay, apologies for not giving the treasurer's report earlier.
It's tax time. I'm surprised you're here.
And it's over.
It's over, yeah.
All right. so
Not yet.
We're on it.
The deadline, the pressure. In reviewing the financial statements for the period ended 3/31/26, I will note that most of the accounts are within budget due to the budget reallocations made last month, a couple of months ago. The one line item to note that has greatly surpassed the budget allocated is snow removal. We are projecting that this line will end. I'm hoping that there will be no more snow. At approximately $94,912.39. That is $64,910 over budget. We will be able to apply this amount, the amount allocated to the debt service against this line item, along with some other line items that we can move around at the end of the year to cover the budget surplus. From other budget surpluses to cover the budget deficit. New York class investments are earning about 3.5%, which is about the same average as a regular money market account. The fund balance as of March 31st, 2026 is $181,048, not including the assigned fund balance of $30,000 that is set aside for. This is not set aside for snow removal, it's set aside as assigned in the budget.
Which is technical.
All right, yeah, thank you. Public safety, what you got, Dave?
Public safety report from March 12th to April 16th. House checks was 2. Incident reports, there were 10. 1 rental, zoning, 2 property maintenance, 1 no building permit, 1 no rental permit, 2 disturbances, 1 information, 1 building permit violation, 1 zoning for the deck violation. We had 3 property maintenance complaints, number of code violations that are open pending court compliance of 4. Parking violations addressed were 6. Special event permits were 2. Building safety inspections were 2. Building and zoning violations were 2. Rental and zoning inspections 1.
Thank you. All right, public hearing, motion to open, hold on. Don't I have to open it? Okay, so motion to open the public hearing for the budget for the fiscal year of 2026, 2027, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone have anything to say in the public? Callers? None. Anyone in the audience? None. Motion to close the budget hearing for fiscal year 2026, 2027, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's get to resolutions. Resolution 042026, 04, resolution adopting the April 16, 2026 agenda as printed, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 042026-05, resolution to schedule the Village of Oakwood Board of Trustees May 2026 work session meeting beginning at 6 p.m. on May 7th, 2026, with business meeting to immediately follow, so moved.
Second. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 04/2026-06, resolution accepting the monthly reports from April 16, 2026, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 04-2026-07, resolution adopting the minutes from the March 12th, 2026 work session of the Board of Trustees meeting. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution number 04-2026-08. Resolution appointing Robert Serrano as Deputy Building Inspector effective February 1st, 2026 at the per project rates as follows. Plans and first inspection, $250. Subsequent standard inspections, $250 per inspection. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I just want to clarify, that should say, April 20th.
April.
February 1st was just carried over from the last one.
Oh, sorry, yeah, April, effective
You want-
Can I
April.
just say?
Redo it? Okay, resolution
Okay.
number 04-2026-08. Resolution appointing Robert Serrano as Deputy Building Inspector effective April 20th, 2026 at the per project rate as follows. Plans and first inspection, $250. Subsequent standard inspections, $250 per inspection. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 04-2026-09, resolution awarding the bid for playground mulch for Trustees Park
Yep.
to Transforming Solutions in an amount not to exceed
2,300.
$2,300. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What's the amount on it for the next one?
10, let me just get it up.
I think it's 6,500.
Isn't
I
the
got
small
it.
one
Less than that, right?
I got it.
56, right?
Come on.
50, it was 56,
5642,
56,40.
5646.
46.
Yeah, my memory's not too
5646.
Between-
Go to
between-
5700.
Green.
Not to exceed, in an amount not to exceed. Not to exceed.
Green, no, spectrum.
And
Spectrum.
go a little higher. Add another $100 just so that we,
5800.
yeah, just do 5,800. It won't be that high, but just so we don't have to do this again.
Okay. And it's just Spectrum. There's no other
You could just say Spectrum.
Spectrum Security.
Mhm.
Thank you. Resolution 04-2026-10, resolution awarding the bid for security cameras to Spectrum Security in the amount not to exceed $5,800. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 04-2026-11, resolution supporting increased municipality aid as follows. Inclusion of at least $100 million in temporary municipality assistance in the New York State budget as proposed by Kathy Hochul to help local government address rising costs and maintain essential services, and urging the state to establish a more stable and predictable source of unrestricted municipal aid to ensure long-term fiscal sustainability. So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
What is that?
Resolution number.
That's a thing that NICOM asked us to
Oh.
do. It's just, I'm sorry about that. I didn't preview it. It's NICOM asked us to agree to asking the governor to give us more money. I didn't think anybody was going to
No,
object,
that's-
but we can vote
Do
on
you
it.
guys not get the Nikon email?
I don't think-
I do.
I do,
Get them?
yeah.
Jeremy, do you? I'll reach
I
out to
get some.
Because you
things,
should be on them.
But I
and
didn't get
they-
anything.
They send this out and there'll be like a letter, we're requesting.
Oh, no, you
villages
get-
I saw it the other day.
Increase or whatever. I'll follow up and see if you guys are on it, or see if you can maybe add you.
Okay,
Resolution number 04-2026-12, whereas the tentative budget for the fiscal year 2026-2027 has been duly presented to the board by the village treasurer, and a duly advertised public hearing has been held thereon. Now therefore be it resolved pursuant to village law 5-508 that the said presented tentative budget reflecting a tax rate of $23.87 per thousand of assessed value be and hereby is adopted as the budget of the Village of Hopewell, New York for the fiscal year 2026-2027, and be it further resolved pursuant to 1420 of the real property tax law that the Board of Trustees levy real estate tax in the amount of $403,247 against all properties listed in the 2026-2027 assessment roll of the Village of Hopewell, And be it further resolved that the mayor be authorized to execute the warrant for collection of taxes pursuant to that article.
You start statute,
Was it
statute 2046.
1246 for the real property tax law? So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Haha, Ray got the long one.
I know, I was gonna say,
We're-
trustee, like,
We're at 23, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one? All right, resolution number 04-2026-13, resolution approving the hiring of Rosalie Amron as office assistant at the rate of $23 per hour, effective April 20th, 2026. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 04-2026-14, resolution setting up a public hearing at the May 7th, 2026 meeting for a proposed local law amending Chapter 41 Assemblies Mass Public. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
all right, so
Was there anything you
first,
had to add, or do you want to?
I feel like there was
I
something.
can add, so I reached out to the inspection inspector, they got back from grade 4, we need you to approve 4. But the next meeting is on the deadline to appoint them, so.
We can do it
Who-
next meeting.
Should we do?
Who said yes?
Deirdre, Jacqueline, and
Annette,
Annette.
Who's
same
in
as
it?
last year. Same as last
Who's in
year. Annette Ainsley, she was on. let's
She was
see,
one of the
she was
elections
on-
inspectors last year.
Yep.
She jumped on with she volunteered to participate.
We have all of them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or do,
I think you have to see if you get another one,
Yeah,
right?
let's just see if we get another one.
Okay.
So wasn't there something else we discussed that we had, we're gonna add
We
on?
were talking about the nitrogen thing, but that's for next meeting too.
We're gonna do it on
Right,
next
Jeremy?
meeting.
Mine
Yeah.
is
That's
the
what we're
election.
thinking.
Okay.
Okay, so first up, we have the FMBO credit card. We have go-to meeting for $192, pirate ship for $4.85, single texting for $646.42, and USPS for $10.48, for a total of $853.75. Next, we have Von Schoening and King for $90, Transforming Solutions for $21,250, Wex Bank for $98.72, for a total of $21,438.72. Next, we have All Flag and Pole for $285, Flint Stenography and Transcription for $354.35, GEI Consultants for $4,172, PSEG for $38.68, React Pest Control for $180, Salerno Brokerage Corp for $2,034, Suffolk County Water Authority $57.60, Suffolk County Water Authority $54.33, Suffolk County Water Authority for $60.58, and Wellsback for $276, for a total of $7,512.54. Next, we have Deluxe Corporation for $868.82. Paul Ellison for $250. PSEG for $358.49, and Verizon Wireless for $101.40, for a total of $1,588.71. Next is our Amazon account, and that is $22.90. Next, we have Construction Technologies for $195.15. Joe Prokop for $2,757.50. PSEG Long Island for $672.94. PSEG Long Island again for $14.13. Small Business Management Solutions for $543.70. Times Beacon Record for $161.60. Oh, I'm sorry, $305, and the total is $4,488.42. Next, we have Canon Financial Services for $569.34. And then we have Ace Hardware, $607.47. Axe Creatives for $125. Optimum for $135.09. Town of Brookhaven Highway Department for $4,856.52. And Wex Bank for $216.04, for a total of $5,940.12.
Is that it? Go ahead, Jeremy, you do it.
Resolution 04-2026-15, resolution approving all checks per the voucher report. So moved.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, could you amend that, or could we have the agreement that GEI gets department approval before it goes out?
You want another resolution?
No, just if it could be modified.
Which one? The voucher?
Yeah, GEI.
No, GEI,
I think it should, something like that should get department approval, like,
you want it separate? We could do a resolution.
We'll do resolution 042026-15, resolution approving all checks pending the departmental approval of the payment to GEI per the voucher report. So moved.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
They're the consultant on the.
We got a couple meeting.
That was so good, Jeremy. You just wing that right up
Tina,
beautifully.
you gotta close the meeting.
Okay, motion to to adjourn the meeting at 8:43. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I thought we did our taxes for hundreds, not thousands of assessed value. Is that Brookhaven? Per thousand?
We're,
We're,
Yeah.
per hundred.
did I do it
We
wrong?
have per thousand in the